Good morning. Good morning. Hey, welcome back to Corbellic Studios. We're here for the live stream show. We're here for the best entertainment education show right now, where we're going to be talking about breaking down how I was able to make my first $5,000, how I was able to break that down into small increments so that way I can focus on the small goals. We're also going to be focusing on and talking about social media stress, how going through that whole process of playing the games where you feel like you had to load up so much artwork. You always had to chase your tail when it comes to different types of engagement, where you always had to put up different stories. You had to show your background. You had to show all this stuff. You had to be so vulnerable to social media, but yet you were getting zero sales. So what's the point? Like that's the thing that people don't talk about as well either when it comes to social media. They want you to be so vulnerable, but you get zero rewards. Your reward is that, well, at least you're an artist, and how embarrassing, because then people know you to be an artist, but you're not bringing no money in. So we're going to be talking about that as well too, the social media stress. We're going to be showing some reactions to some artwork on here from some different artists, just some quick ones real quick that I want to go through. Maybe we'll even check out more of their page where they're doing the polar bear hairs. I was able to actually find the polar bear hair artist, so that way people who are new to the channel or who aren't part of the initiated, they can actually see what we're talking about when we talk about the polar bear hairs and doing a million hours. All right, so we're going to break that down as well. Also, we're going to be talking about, of course, we're always going to have our spotlight winners. So I'm going to show the spotlight winners from the elite community, and then also the winners circle from people who are doing a fantastic job in the elite community, who's actually been following everything, who's been making the money, who's been seeing the progress in their self. And either if they have no experience, they just started with eBay, they're making the money. So these are the things that we're going to be showing today. And what's cool about this is that there's always so many different testimonies. There's always so many things to be inspired off of from other people's stories. That way, other people know they can do it too. Because I always say it and I mean it. Look, if I can do it, then you can do it. And if you can do it, then other people could do it. So these stories are important, where we like to share it. We like to show other people the numbers. So that way, hey, it's not like any of these other guru coaches out here who's talking about theory and they can just give you out any kind of numbers, or they can just say certain things that you don't know if it's true, or they can hire their sisters, babies, cousin, whoever to read out a script, always on some monotone testimony. You ever see all the time where they have these testimonies and then it seems like it seems like the person is not real, or they're not even part of the whatever the program is, and they're like, yes, coach. They're always reading from script. They're, coach Jonathan says that I got $1 million last week. It's always something like that, but we don't have anything like that. I always like to over deliver. That's one of the things that's one of the things that was taught to me from one of my mentors years ago, is that whatever that you are offering, whatever that you are trying to encourage people on, always over deliver and undersell. So undersell, over deliver. So that way you're always having more of the value of what you're doing, but of what you're saying. So anything that I say, I always over deliver, and I always like to show so much proof of the pudding, because I don't know, it's just I think it's a me thing. It's more like a confidence thing of things that whatever I talk about, I love that. I love, like, anything that I talk about. I have so much video, so much pictures, so much proof in the pudding, so many testimonials, so many screenshots of money, of income, of paintings, of numbers. I have all of that stuff. So I always love when I get like a heckler or a hater or somebody who, I don't know if they were a troll or a fan. You never know nowadays, or right. And I just love when I hear certain comments. I'm like, I sometimes I wake up in the morning time and I get online just so I can see if there's going to be a heckler today or a troll, and I feed off of that. I feed off of that. So you also need to get like that too in a point of your life, because if you don't have haters, you're not doing something right. All right. You need to have the trolls out there. That's how you know you're doing something. I feed off of it. That way I could be like, man, I got the proof. I got the proof. Your other people don't have the proof. They're content creators, or they're people who are just going off a theory. I love having the proof. So that's what we got for today's show. It's going to be a really good one. We're going to have fun. We always have fun on these, and we kind of go off on different directions of where we're going to go with it. All right, so let's see who we have here in the comments so far. Who do we have here this morning? We got AZ Lady, we got Miriam, we got Sean, we got Alyssa, we got Nancy. Let's see here. Who else we got? We got Shayla. We got Alyssa again. We got Queen Sarita. All right. So today's health choice that I have is I have pure watermelon juice. Watermelon juice that I cold pressed myself. And I like to put them in mason jars because it keeps it fresh and it keeps it from fermenting or getting weird. So I always keep them in the mason jars and refrigerate it. And I go through it like in a week. So I only do like a week's worth. So refreshing. It's like nature's Gatorade. All right. It has a lot of great electrolytes in it. So that's what I do. If you're also new here, then also pay attention to your health, because that's one of the things that we talk about here. Like, I'm not going to act like I'm some health monk or anything like that, right? Like, because I love food. I love enjoying food. I love all types of food, meat, proteins, fish, pasta, barbecue. I eat it all. Sushi. It doesn't matter. But at the same time, is what I'm saying is that what we do in our business, even if it's not art, I'm telling you, one of the main key opponents, one of the main key components of having a fresh mind and having a clarity, but also having a high frequency and believing in yourself, is making sure that you're taking care of your body and the things that you put in your body, because it's just like a car and it's about the fuel that you have. I mean, there was a point in time when I was always working in corporate America and I was working all these different jobs, right? My mind wasn't right, and I was in this everlasting loop of doom, because I was eating junk food like at lunchtime. It's at your lunchtime. Oh, I'm rushing, so you don't have time to meal prep, or you don't have time to prepare your food or whatever. We all been there before, right? And then what do you do? What do most people do when they have a normie job, 9 to 5? What do most people do? They eat junk food. They eat Burger King. They eat McDonald's, Popeye's chicken, all this crap. It's slop, right? It's slop. I can't even remember the last time I ate fast food like that. I don't eat it. I can't even remember. It's slop to me. But the thing is, it's so processed that the things that they put in there, it's not just really about to get you fat and the cancer and all of that stuff. The things that they put in there is for you to calcify your pineal gland, your third eye, so that way you can't see the frequency. That way you can't free yourself. I'm telling you, the more that you are more conscious about the things that you put in your body, the more that you'll be able to see with your third eye, and you'll be able to free yourself. So I'm not saying, I've been through there as well. All right, let's see who we have here today. Also, when we're talking about health, right? Another thing is you really do have to invest. Look, if you're not at a point yet where you could invest in a masseuse like once a month, all right, then do it yourself. Stretch every day. It costs you nothing to stretch every day. Like, just stretch. Take 5 minutes. You know what? This is a great suggestion right here. I'm going to add this into the community. Let me write a note. I'm going to add this into the community for a lesson on there on the health, where about stretching, and I'm gonna add some videos for suggestions on there of things that you could do that's very easy for stretching, because it is important on your body, and it's important of what we do. You can't be productive in your body of what we do of artists if you're not taking care of your body, if you're not stretching. You need to stretch those muscles out. Because if not, you're going to get those croaks. I understand how they feel. It's annoying. It's tight on the shoulders. You need to get those loosened up. You need to stretch them out. You know how many things around the house, like I'm trying to see right even right now. Like there's so many things. This is a great tool. This tool right here, this is something that I use. It's rubber. It's made by the Accu Mobility Company, but it's rubber, right? And you can put this onto the ground and you lay on it. So that way it's kind of like going to your own masseuse. You don't have to go to a masseuse. You could just buy one of these. These are like $40, but I'm telling you, it's worth everything because you can lay on it on your shoulder or wherever the pain is at, and you can loosen up your neck and you can loosen up your back, or you can also use this to lay on your hip. So you can loosen up your hip muscle, your glutes and your lower back because it's all connected. And yeah, so that along with stretching is going to give you longevity in your life. It's going to give you longevity in your career. I wouldn't have been able to paint as many things that I painted and do as much as I've done if I didn't take care of myself, worry about the things that I put inside my body, and not poison it, reduce the things of what I'm poisoning it with. Like I still have cheat meals, right? Where I consider like cheat meals, but I consider those like maybe my Friday, Saturday, where I'm out with my family and maybe we go out to a restaurant or maybe we eat or we do something like that. Like I said, I'm not a monk. I love to eat, but most of the time I meal prep, I juice, I take care of my body. Once a week, I have a masseuse that I go to, but even if not, then you could just buy this yourself and you don't have to pay for somebody if you're not there yet. And you can just buy certain things to loosen up the muscles in yourself. Do some stretching on your hands because we paint, and you could get carpal tunnel. So like that, do some stretching on the neck. It only takes 5 minutes, but it's like some of the things that are so simple for us that we know is good for us, that we know is beneficial for us. Why don't we do it? How come we always make things so complicated? This is why I always talk about like we make things so complicated in our lives because we always do these things that's like we don't do the best things for us. And it only takes 5-10 minutes. But yet we have no problem taking 5-10 minutes to doom scroll on our phones or to pay attention to other things or to just even be distracted, you know? And we waste so much time of doing things like that. And we could just be spending we could be spending the 5 minutes on meditating. Like if I say to somebody meditate, most people don't want to do it. They know it's good for you. They hear the beneficials of it. It's like only 5 minutes. Just focus on your breathing. You don't have to think about anything in your mind. You don't have to try to do any type of affirmations. You don't have to think like that's not how it works. All you gotta do is just sit there quiet in the dark, close your eyes, sit there and focus on your breathing. That's it. Do that for 5 minutes. Once you get comfortable doing that for like a week or two, then you do 10 minutes. I'm telling you, these things, it sounds woo-woo. I was skeptic as well. I'm skeptic of eBay. I'm skeptic of it all. I'm the biggest skeptic out there, all right? So I already understand where everybody is at with their mind. And once I started doing these things really do generate a clarity to you. It generates a mindset of money. It generates things, okay? I'm telling you. These things really do help. And that's why if you ever hear about millionaires, billionaires, or people who have a certain clarity, a certain mindset, a certain higher frequency, you'll always hear that these people, they meditate. They meditate. So these are things that I also talk about that's inside the elite community, but I have it at the last course or something like that. Because I know when you get into a course and when you get into a community, the first thing you want is, where's the money? All right, let's get on the money. I don't want to hear about introduce yourself. Hi, I'm Corbellic and I whatever. Who cares about that? Let's get to the money. Let's get to the money part. I understand that. Or hey, here's my morning routine and how I whatever. I don't care about that. Let's get to the money. Hold on. I gotta put my charger in real quick. Oh, here it is. Let's get to the money part already. All right. Let's get to the money part. I hope my system don't crash. All right, cool. It didn't. But let's let's get to the money. I I paid so much money for different courses, right? And it's always like they waste your time at the beginning where it's like, hey, this is my humble beginnings. I grew up on this farm. I was so poor. We ate out of Spam cans. Nobody cares about that. Can we get to the point where you're like, what we're talking about here is the money? So it's funny, when I created the course, I almost fell into the trap of doing that type of stuff, where it was like the first three courses was like, it was like introduction about myself. And then the next course was how to start your day with a morning routine, and write in the journal and meditation, and God is important, which is very true. But at the same point, it's like, I understand when you're paying for something, you want to get straight into it. And I didn't want to be like everybody else's course, where it's like, can we just get to the meat and potatoes already? Like, let's have the first one. So that's why it's like my first course is, set your eBay account up. This is how you do it. Let's get to it. All right. But let's see, who do we have here today? We have any super chats? Any super chats? All right. No super chats. Back to the show. If you haven't already, leave a like on the video. Let YouTube know that we're doing a good work, that we're doing God's work out here, that we're doing God's business, that we're spreading the word, that we're helping people, we're saving people's lives. It's important, all right? It's important. I appreciate everybody here right now. Like, look, we're going to have a really good time. It's always a good time. I enjoy doing these shows. Also, this week, I have some really, really, really good whiteboard videos coming up with a lot of knowledge that I've been dropping, man. I mean, really good stuff. So I'm really excited that those are about to come out. I mean, YouTube, the problem with YouTube is this. When it comes to me, I produce way more like I work. So I'm always thinking of work. I'm always thinking of work like eBay, right? And I produce more content than they can handle. So it's like I have to sit on content a lot and wait for how I distribute it, because it'll flood the algorithm. And sometimes I'm like, I don't even care. I'll just want to flood it anyways. But if I flood it, then I risk where people can't digest it because it'll get lost. So maybe you never see the video, or maybe you never get it. And I have to go through certain things like that. The cool thing is that I had the communities where I could go into the communities and I could share the videos of certain ones like that, of things that I want. But that's the problem, is that I work like eBay in everything in my life. I work in speed and go now. And the thing is, I produce too much content and I can't stop. I can't stop myself either, because once you stop momentum. And it's the same thing with you. You might be the same way, where you're be doing good or whatever, but don't stop momentum. Keep going. I don't care what nobody says. Keep your foot on their neck. When I say there, I'm talking about life. Keep your foot on the neck. Keep going. Keep pressing go. Because once you slow down, once you stop, then it's hard to get the momentum to go again. Like, it's always about inertia. Inertia is the hardest part. When, like, once you're an airplane and you're going against it, then that's the hardest part, is the takeoff. But once you're in the sky, you're always going, because you're working on speed. You're working off speed. All right, so let's see here. Exactly. Most courses start with mindset. So I have mindset in there. I do have mindset in my course, but it's at the end. It's at the end. So yeah, it's one of those things where I just didn't want to be like everybody else. So the mindset is like the last one. I mean, it's at the last one. So let's see here. For example, check this out. You can see here, this is when you come into the elite community. And the first thing that I had people do is the 14-day orientation. And thank God that I created this one. I didn't even have this one here. The first one was set up your account. Just the setup, like how to set it up properly, your foundation, how to do your templates, everything there, right? And then it was the supply list, getting started, everything. So these are pretty much the two cores of how to get started into your account and how to do everything. Real meaty on those. But the problem that was happening was people was coming into the course, and then I understand they were treating it like any other course, where, and it is true, where you don't have a plan A, plan B. Now, even though we're a community and we help each other, people were getting lost, and I would get lost too if I was starting off, because it's kind of like, here you go to do the course. It's up to you whenever you start. And that's not cool. So that's why I started the 14-day orientation, where every single day you have a small task on there, what to do, that encompasses these these ones right here, the main ones of how to start your account. Because if not, I was seeing there were some people who would come into the community and it would be like past a month and they didn't even start yet. They didn't even start yet because they felt like it was so intimidating for them to start and they didn't know what to start with. So I had to break it down on the 14-day orientation, where each step, the first one, just do this small task today. So that way by the end of the 14 days, because it goes by like that, it goes by so quick, that you'll have every single day, you have a task, you have a homework task to do, but at least that by the end of the 14 days, you already have your account built up. You already have everything, you already have your account done. And then you already have a you're familiar with doing listings. You're at least comfortable with doing a listing. And then by then, most people do have their first sale by the end of the 14 day. So that's why I had that there. But look, so you can see this is how we start, straight to the meat and potatoes. But look at the bottom. Look at this, all the way to the bottom, all the way to the bottom. The last of the last, I have introduction. So this used to be it, my introduction. I don't even see it now. Like, I don't even know what's there. It's so green. Like, I was so green then and kind of like awkward and nervous on camera. So it's like, they're really uncomfortable videos. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the course. It's kind of like one of those things. And then you can see here where it's mindset and then long term. Let's click into this right now. It's been a while since I've been in here. But let's see here. Anyone can sell, which is true. We break that down. The lottery ticket effect, the habits for success. So you can see I do have the habits for success. So I talk about a morning prayer, but even if you're not, a religious person or anything, I just talk about as well. You could just do meditation. We don't see how gravity works. We don't see how electricity works. And there is a power to putting things outside of yourself instead of putting it with yourself. Because if you put things with yourself, for example, if you're having a bad day on your numbers, you're having a bad day with your sales, it's easy for you to say, well, it's me, my art sucks, I did something wrong, in comparison to waking up in the morning and knowing that you have a power that's outside of yourself, that's also with you, to be like, well, everything that's impossible is possible through the power of God. So you better believe even millionaires, billionaires, even if they're not religious people, they all follow this as well, because there's energies of the world that we cannot see. Just like I said, you can't see electricity. You can't see positive, negative. You don't know how gravity works, but you know it is there. And this is things that people do follow. You better believe it. And then that's why even a lot of billionaires, they also follow numerology as well, with numbers. So you can say whatever you want about it, but there's power in it. There's power in morning prayer. There's power in meditation. And that's why people do it. All right. But I also talk about here exercise. I talk about journaling. I talk about the painting blocks. And I talk about how important the breaks are. I talk about the listing and sharing, accountability. Now, all these things are super important. And I key into it pretty much in all the lessons. These are the foundations of who we are, right? But this is this is the last course. This is the last stuff. This is the last stuff. It's just, what's the introduction? What's in here? About me. Let me tell you about me. It's so green. This is funny that we're talking about this. I'm gonna tell you, anything that you're gonna do in life, especially when it comes to business, but especially if it's to find your tribe and what we do, the first step of anything that we do is always going to be the hardest. So even when it comes to eBay, even when it comes to doing your listings, even when it comes to anything in life and business, the first step is always the hardest. And that's why a lot of people aren't successful. A lot of people aren't successful because they're scared of looking like a failure. And because I've got straight A's my whole life and I don't want everybody to finally look at me and I get an F kind of attitude. I understand you're scared of being a failure. And the thing that I love about listening to the bios of billionaires and millionaires is they'll always say, The hardest part is at the beginning. You fail and you look like an idiot. You feel awkward. It's part of the process. Like let's watch a little bit of this video right now. Like I'm pretty sure it's still decent, but you could tell that it's like I'm uncomfortable, you know. Let's see here. Hey, you made it in here. I don't know what brought you in here, but you made it in here. I know what made you in here. Everybody wants to make money. That's what we're in here for. Let's be honest. That's what we're in here for. So I'm glad that you're here. I can make sure that you make $2,000 to $5,000 your first month as long as you just stick with the steps. You're not lazy. You could just produce. Anybody can do this as long as you have a projector and that you have the will to do it. I'm going to show you how to set up. It's so cringy and awkward. But I mean, not cringy. It's fine. It's fine. It's decent. I kept it there for a reason because it still is sincere. All right. But yeah, so that's what I have right there on that one. That's too funny. That's the go down memory lane. Yeah, can't unsee. Thank you. It says once you see it, you can't unsee it. Thanks. I still love those videos. I know. Thank you. I know. Let's see here. They were still good though. Yeah, they're still good. They're great. That's why I kept them there because it's sincere. It's sincere and it's authentic. And I mean it too. So when I first started off, I was going to say to everybody, like that was my thing. I was going to be like, if you follow all the steps that I can guarantee $2,000 to $5,000 a month. But then I got in trouble with the FTC where I couldn't say like a guaranteed dollar amount because then it's like, you got people out there who either however their work ethic is or whatever it is where they'd be like, oh, you can't do that. And I was like, okay, I guess that makes sense. Because in my mindset, it was like, that's like a drop in the bucket. It's like, yeah, everybody can do that. Like, why not? I mean, if you work it and if you work full time and if you listen to like whatever steps, like if somebody came to me and was like, I don't have a job and I could do this 40 hours a week, then I could be like, yeah, then I can get you the $2,000 to $5,000 a month. I mean, I could, um, but yeah, they weren't having that, but I still kept it in there. That's fine. All right. Seeing here, who do we have here in the comments? Let me see if I could blow up the comments because I'm telling you, like I be squinting down here. Let me see if I can make this bigger somehow, or I'll do this. Let me go to the YouTube. Oh yeah, there it is. And then let me do a pop out from here. That's fine. Let me do a pop out chat. Because I'm blind. And then we can get onto the artist spotlight. So that was a little fun intro right there, going down memory lane. You guys making fun of me for my video. No, I'm just joking. I know you weren't. All right. Just there we go. I can't wait to see them now. Yeah, it's there. It's there. It's at the bottom, so you can check it out. And it's very sincere what it is. I kept them there for a reason. It's very sincere, but it's so awkward. It's so awkward, and that's going to be anything. That's going to be anything that you do in life. I try to coach. I coach from sometimes like for people who want it. I try to coach like younger adults into business or different things of life. And you know how difficult it is to coach them because their mindset is like so short term influenced by Instagram and influencer. I don't know. And but also, somebody said to me recently, the younger people's mind is also younger too, because those are the COVID kids who were locked up in the house, so they didn't have the development. They didn't have the full development process in their age, so their brain is still like kind of backwards, right? And it's like me telling some of these people like, you have so many tools right now to be successful, and you can do it if you want to go out and actually make content, or not like make content to be a content creator, but start your own tribe, kind of like what we do, where you can start your own community in whatever you're into. If you're a Lego builder, if you're someone who's in the comic books or whatever, I mean, this is the perfect time where you can have a community no matter what your thing is. Like if you're into gardening, you could do that. But I always tell them the hardest part is the first 10, 20 videos. Maybe not 20 videos. It doesn't even take that long, but maybe like your first 10, yeah, maybe like 10, 20 videos. It's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be awkward. You're going to look like a doofus, but it doesn't matter because that's the part of any business that you got to go through. You got to go through the beginning part of being being vulnerable. All right. You got to go through the part of being vulnerable, not even knowing if people are going to relate to what you're saying or if you're comfortable or whatever it is. You could be a donut maker. All right. I'm just saying in business, that's just the hardest part is the beginning. But then after that, it's smooth selling as long as you're working the speed. So that's why I always talk about a speed, because when you're working the speed, then life and people, they don't have enough time to influence you to make you not believe in whatever direction that you're at, or to help you lose your confidence. I'm only going to lose my confidence once I stop. Okay. That's why I'm always working. I learned this from an artist years ago when I first started in my gallery thing, and maybe this can help you too. I'll try to find her, but what she said is that for her, she always has to work. And she says not just because of work's sake. She says it's because she tends to get anxiety, and she won't believe in herself or her choices if she's not constantly working. So that's the same thing with me, is that I'll start overthinking. And in order for me to not overthink my choices, my painting, if this is good enough, Mona Lisa's or anything like that, what I have to do is I always have to work. So that way, I always have to work. So that way I'm looking at life as a batch and not an individual thing. And I'm not insecure about anything that I'm talking about, if that makes sense. So that's why I'm very comfortable of, like, whatever I say or any mistake, like, we're not perfect. I still make mistakes too, but I correct it with you, or I'm vulnerable because I produce so much content. I've done so many art pieces. I've done whatever, where it's like, all right, if this one ain't going to work, then the other 5 that I created beforehand, one of those are going to work. So I treat life like the lottery ticket, how we always talk about. So I treat everything like the lottery ticket. Yeah, and I suggest for you to do that as well too. And the more that you're not working or you're not doing something, the more that you're going to be second guessing yourself, where of the choices that you're going to be making in your life, and it's not going to work out. Or the only way that things are going to work out is you have to produce more, and you have to treat it in that volume speed mindset of what we do, for anything. It's not just paintings, for anything. That way nobody has enough time to influence anything. I put videos out there on YouTube, right? And I don't look at the numbers or the analytics to see what's working or what's not working. I produce what I want to create, and maybe some are stinkers, maybe some are winners. That's the lottery ticket effect. I can't control any of that stuff, but what I can control is how I feel about it, because this is my reality. I control it. John Hunter says, I like that scared money makes no money. Thank you. I think that's a new video that just came out this morning. Scared money makes no money. That's a good one. Very true. Very, very, very good gems that I got in there. Thank you. I appreciate that, John. Let's see here. Planet Art says, the fast start in the 14-day orientation is mindset too. I got positivity and needed a plan. Thank you for the plan. No, thank you. Of course. That's what it's all about. That is what it's all about. So yeah, anything in life that you do, and as long as you're working at a speed and you're thinking of life in batches and not these individual things, then you're going to be able to produce better. That's how you get better at everything. You only get better by putting it out there and having the vulnerable parts, but doing more of it. No matter what it is, do more of it, because you're going to have stinkers out there and you can't control it. Who cares? That's the market. Just like we have art. I always say, I go into the studio saying I'm going to create 100 pieces of art, and hopefully I like one of them. I don't care if I like one of them or not. Maybe the market is going to like it, or they don't. It's not up to me. But I have more confidence that at least I created those, instead of, if I went into the studio, I'm going to have anxiety. I'm going to have, we talk about this inside the Money Secrets. Inside the Money Secrets course, we talk about how you lose energy. You lose energy by having scarcity and anxiety inside of you. And if you have that energy inside of you instead of abundance, then that's how you lose money. That's how you lose opportunities. So anytime that I was working in a state of where I only have 4 canvases, I'm only working this small, or I'm only doing this, or I'm not doing enough, and we all know that feeling that we could be doing enough or more, then that's where anxiety comes from. If you have anxiety, then the flow is not going to be coming to you with the money, but the abundance comes to you. I'm trying to see right now if I could actually find it into the money course so I could actually give you a quick read down of it, because it's really, really great stuff. Here, actually, you know what? I just found it. I'm really good. I'm really good on my course, and I'm really good on like finding stuff pretty quick. So let me share this with you right now, if you don't mind. Of course, you don't mind. Let's see here. All right, let me share this with you right now. This is really cool stuff. All right, so this is inside the money mindset course right here. And let's see, what chapter is this on? This is on chapter 3. So this is in the classroom. This is the classroom right here. This is Money Secrets. If you're not already a VIP member, VIP, which is the annual, and if you're annual, then you already saved 40% off. Like, that's the best bet for you, is to get the annual. Because you already save 40% off than paying monthly. So you save a lot of money, and it puts you in a better mindset too, where you're actually committed. Those are the people who are always the most successful, because there's so much information where you could get it, but you could also have it where you're not like thinking in a monthly mindset. It's trust me, it's a psychological difference. But if you're part of the VIP, which is annual, then you get this for free. But if not, if you're on the monthly, then this right here, it costs $47 by itself, because this one is, I actually wrote this out. So it's actually a book where it is the money lessons on here. There's 17 different chapters on here, but this one right here is chapter 3, and I'm gonna read this one right down here for you, because it's very important. How to surrender to flow. After you give, forget. So we talk about giving like 10%, whatever it is. That's the secrets of like the flow of money and the flow of energy to you. That's why you hear about the richest people ever. They create these foundations, and they're philanthropists. They're not philanthropists because they're doing it out of the good of their heart. They're doing it because it always comes back to them in triple fold. These are some of the old things that's been passed down for thousands of years. But here it says, I gave, the universe will handle. Back to work, anxiety. I need to show proof. Show me something that is real. The trust opens the flow. Anxiety blocks the flow. So the subconscious factor is this: negative thought loops attract negative reality. And Hollywood knows this. They use subliminal symbols in media to create programs in your subconscious that manifest it in daily life. The energetic parasite is created, and it is fed by destructive thought patterns. It saps your energy constantly. It prevents you from accessing flow state. And without the flow state, you can't accomplish anything significant. How do you access the flow state, and what blocks it? Constant thought loops, anxiety about outcomes, checking for results obsessively, skeptical energy. These things right here will rob you of your blessings. A lot of the teachings that I teach you, you might think that they're so basic. You might think that I don't know what I'm talking about. You might think that it's so simple, but I always tell you, I'm like Mr. Miyagi, wax on, wax off. You don't know why I'm telling you to do that. You think that you're just washing the car. But then afterwards, you found out that there's a whole foundation of a mindset. I always tell you, don't chase the numbers. Don't day trade the numbers. You're going to drive yourself crazy. You're going to give yourself anxiety. And if you give yourself anxiety on it, then you're going to block the flow of how things are going to come to you. You're going to block the flow of how money's going to come to you, how blessings are going to come to you, and opportunities, because you're checking your numbers. Look, I know this myself. Like I said, I'm not a monk here, all right? I'm only talking to my previous self. So I'm giving you advice on things that I had to learn for years. It took me years, and it took me thousands of dollars to even get this information, of which I wrote out on here on these 17 chapters. All right. Like, this is supposed to be like the initiated, like top, like you have to be a part of a secret society to get this information. But they're constant thought loops. So I used to be the type of person where on eBay, I would refresh eBay. How many watchers do I have today? Oh, how many bids do I have today? Oh, how many whatever? Oh, I got to check the numbers. You know what I did? And I'll put this also in the elite community, but this is a gem right here. What I did to myself in the notifications inside the elite community is I turned the notifications off on my phone from eBay. I turned the notifications off. You know why? It's because I don't want to get hit with the dopamines of cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-chings. I don't want to hear it. I just know that it's going to happen regardless. What happens is you put yourself into this mode of being like a dog. You know how dogs are triggered by the bell. You're triggering yourself by the bell. You're training yourself by the bell of the cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. I turn it off. I don't want to hear it. I don't need to know the cha-ching of someone bid on my stuff. Now, I understand it. It is a great dopamine too, maybe when you're starting off on eBay. I understand how important it is. But for me, what I understood over the years is that it was more important, and I made way more money when I turned the cha-ching off, because I need to work regardless of it. I need to work regardless of what I think that the cha-ching is. Once I kept hearing the cha-ching on certain things, it would reinforce what I think that the market wants of a type of art. If I hear the ching, I'm painting, I hear a cha-ching on somebody bidding or something, I get distracted. I look at what it is. Oh, what did they bid on? What did they bid on? I'm checking the numbers and I'm thinking to myself while I'm working, oh, I need to create more of those. Instead of me going to work and just doing the work, putting up different things and not worried about what the market is. The market is whatever it's going to be. And there's items out there where I've had so many different watchers on there, but maybe it's sold for a little bit of money because I'm worried about the cha-ching, cha-ching. I'm being distracted. I'm thinking about the constant thought loops. So this right here is going to block you. The anxiety of this is what blocks you. What opens it up is being present in the moment of focus. Look at this. Trust the process, detachment from outcome, confident expectation without desperation. It can feed the energy off of you. That's why I always talk about waiting. All right. And not to be waiting, not to always feel like waiting, because once you're always waiting, you're always going to be waiting. So these are things right here. I just needed to break that down on here, but also it tells you how to break it, how to break from it, how this applies to your art business, the obsessive checker. Look, it even says it here. Many eBay sellers refresh their sales page 50 times a day. I know you do it too. I know you do it. We need to get away from that. Are there any sales yet? Why isn't this selling? I need more money now. This anxious energy irradiates through your listings, your photos, your descriptions. Buyers can feel it energetically, even if they don't consciously know it. The flow state seller, they create paintings full of presence. They list it with confidence. You give 10% from your last sale. Whatever the money is, you have to give it back. You have to give some of it back. And I'm not saying give it back where you have to pay to some crackhead homeless person on the street, right? Who's just going to drink your money up or smoke your money up. And I'm not talking about maybe some organizations either, right? Where they're talking about paying tithe and you're just getting your money stolen. I'm not talking about that. You have to figure out a way where you can give it back to either a family member, but nobody knows about it. The real secret is giving back, and then no one knows about it. You don't go and tell your wife, your husband, hey, I did a great thing today. Look, I videotaped it of me giving this money or whatever. No one has to know about it. When no one knows about it, that's how it comes back to you tenfold. They forget about both. They move on to the next painting. They trust the process completely. You have to be in the flow state of that. Be nonchalant about it. Act like you've been here before. All right. So I'm just going to get off of that right there. But you can get a bunch of these life lessons in there. The real energy state. These are things that was passed down thousands of years inside the elite community, inside the Money Secrets course. All right, all right. Let's see here. Who do we have in the comments? Let's see if we have some. Let's see who we have in the comments. Good morning, sweet life. I appreciate you. Distraction is a disruption. So true. So true. And this is the thing too, like, you know how many blessings that I have in my life from the information that I give to people, either for free or helping people in their life. But also the blessing is that I've sold 18,000 paintings. I don't care about any of that. Other people try to day trade my numbers all day long. I'll get either naysayers or whatever who come into my comments, and they'll day trade my numbers, and they know more about my stuff than I do, or they think they know, but they don't even know. And then they don't even know behind the scenes of there's a whole bunch of stuff, whatever. But I don't even focus about that stuff because I'm already flying high where I'm already worked on the volume. I got 18,000 paintings. Like, what can somebody, like, okay, like, you can't say anything or day trade my number if you don't even have a fraction of that, right? Like, do you even have a quarter of that? No, you don't. So why are you even talking to me? Like, there's a whole 8-year process, and you have people. It's funny. I have people now where, hey, well, I checked your past 3 months and you're not selling right now. What are you talking about? I sold 18,000 paintings like over the past 7 years. Do you think that I run several businesses? I'm a coach. I also have videos where I paint on YouTube, and I do that the same thing. I have shipping videos. I have the process. I have the numbers on there. Like, but your last 3 months, we're not showing that you're full time. You honestly think I'm full time? Get outside of yourself. Get outside of yourself. What are you talking about? That doesn't even. What are you talking about? That's like I always say the same thing. I can't imagine saying these things if Michael Jordan is telling me how to shoot a basketball. And I'm like, yeah, well, those last 3 months you were playing golf. What about you, Michael Jordan? Like, what are you talking about? It's Michael Jordan. The proof is already there. All right. So let's get into let's get into this right now. We are going to get into the artist spotlight. We are going to get into the artist spotlight. The artist spotlight that we have for today is going to be, let's pull this up here. All right. The artist spotlight that we're going to have for today is going to be Nick Byrne. Nick Byrne. He's been doing a fantastic job, everybody. He's been doing a fantastic job. He has beautiful artwork. I mean, all of his artwork just looks like his own signature. It's so colorful. It's so beautiful. It's always so different. I love his artwork. And the thing about him as well, too, is that he really takes good directions. He takes good directions. He keeps his head focused in. He still engages, but he's not engaging enough where he's letting the post and the ding dings distract him. He's still just like quick in and out, but he's working while he's doing that, and he's staying focused. And his artwork, he's in the UK, but he's making it work for himself. He's actually getting the numbers. And in the UK, you know, eBay works internationally. It works global. So he's able to make it work for him. And I mean, it's just amazing. I love that. I love to look at his artwork every single day. So let's look at these new pieces. One of the directions that I had for him, it was just like a couple days ago. I said to him, all of your artwork is beautiful. Of course, everything is correct on your listings. I was like, but just maybe let's change it up a little bit on the background where you have maybe some different colorings in there. So that way it gives people an option. So that way everything doesn't look so minimalism and it's just a white background. And boom, he took directions just like that. It wasn't like he had time to do any kind of a write back or an explanation or anything like that. He just went to work and he pumped it out. And these are the new pieces that he did. what are also like based off of some cubism pieces. And you can see the background that he used on these. Look at this. Look how beautiful they are. I love his blends. Look at this. Look how he does his landscapes. But he does also the wash underneath where it's the drippy wash from the water so it could look like it's the reflection from the lake. I love this. See, when I was a kid, this type of painting is the stuff that I would daydream about, like what kind of house is on this you know, remote little piece of land right there and who lives there, those type of things. You remember when you were a kid, you used to think stuff like that. So a lot of times when I look at you guys' paintings, I always think about like when I was a kid, what I would fantasize about like my imagination. Who lives there? What is that person doing? Are they going to work? Like, look how beautiful this is. And you can see how he did the wash really quick, where it's raining on the bird with the boots. Very simple, very minimalist. And he has control over it. Look at this. I mean, look at the direction of this art. Look at that. He has this profile where it's one side of it has the dark colors right there. And then the other side is where it's light. So beautiful. Wow. This is amazing. Amazing art. I just love looking at his stuff because it's always so different. And he always takes the direction as well too, where he's doing different. He's not doing the same things. He's not doing the cat dog all the time. Cat dog, horse, cat dog. You know, those things are beautiful and I love painting them, but they can get they can get redundant. It can get old. And you can see here where how he takes his impressionism. So these are things that I daydream about and I have an imagination on when I'm a kid. You know, who's underneath the umbrella, underneath that tree? Like, what kind of farm is that? These are things that was like, I was one of those type of kids. Look at this, how he takes this right here. And he makes it so simple, but yet so elegant in the modernism of it. But he also has the bold strokes and he lets it drip right here, right? And he has the flowers that's there, the profile of her face, and he's knocking it out. So you could tell the more that he's doing, the more that you could tell when artists start feeling themselves and they're confident in their flow. So once you start getting in the flow state, that's why I always tell you to work a little bit faster, because then you're going to get more bold, you're going to get more confident. You're going to be able to make choices like this and you know that it's good enough, and then you're on to the next. See, on to the next. So let's see what his store looks like. Oh, did it just sign me out? No, it signed me out. All right, look at this. I mean, look at this beautiful artwork. Look at this guitar right here. This is beautiful. Hold on, let me, I think I had to sign in. I think I had to sign into, or maybe I don't. There, let me sign in. I don't know why eBay signed me out, but whatever. Skip for now. Come on, sign in. All right, here we go. We're back. Look at this beautiful artwork. Look at that. Now let's go through the listing so we can see what it looks like. I mean, he's doing everything proper. Everything is proper on here. Let's see what his trailer looks like. Got the big boys out. Look at that. He's got the little one there. He's just knocking it out. I love that process. Look how quick he's doing it with the big brother. Let's go, Nick. Look at that. It's not always about the paintbrush either. A lot of times we cheat by using the markers. Let's go, Nick. All right, that was cool. It had a little jam to there, made me bob my head, made me want to party. All right, look at that. But I love how he also shows what it could look like inside someone's home, right? So that way you can see how it will look with a little bit of furniture. But he doesn't have this as the first mock-up. He has the first mock-up this. Then he shows you a practical shot of it. Very simple. That's why I always advise people to go to a gallery, go to an exhibit, so that way you can see what the brushstrokes are in person. A lot of times we like to romanticize things that they're more than what they actually are. And when it comes to art, because we're not in person to actually see it, but then when you're in person and you can actually study the artist's brushstrokes, you'll get inspired. You can see like, whoa, okay, this is how they cheated. When you're an artist, that you can see how people do their process and how they cheated. Or we can't say cheat, they just found a smarter way to work faster in their process of how to do it. Look how he does his hand. He's not trying to do a perfect hand. He's not trying to spend his time doing that. He's doing it like this and then on to the next, and it looks beautiful. You get the idea. He shows an example of his certificate, authenticity, an example of what the frame looks like, why buy from him, what a gallery piece looks like when he was at a gallery, and then a picture of him that he's a human, that he's a normal person. Look, great job. Great job. This is beautiful. That's just, it's beautiful. So let's see here. Let's see some other artwork that he has. Put some lights on here. I mean, I love this. I love his artwork. I could be in here. I could be in here for days, to be honest. I could be in here for days. So just come in here and give Nick some love. Give Nick some love, some support. It's Nick's Art Studio. He has 158 items already sold, and he has 73 collectors that he already collected. Now, this is someone who's never sold on eBay before until he started working in the community. Until he joined the community, he had no experience whatsoever when it comes to eBay. But look at this. He's already earned 73 collectors that he could always reach out to that he's earned. He sold 158 items. And he's making it work for him. All right. So great job right there, Nick. All right, let's go on to the next artist spotlight. And that is going to be Ana Torres. Ana Torres, phenomenal work. I love her work all the time. She really shows up. She does a great job. She's very consistent. She's also a great addition to the community with giving encouragement to people, with helping out. And she's just really a great person. She's got a great heart. She's a warm person. I love looking at her art, and I love interacting with her. I love seeing her stuff on here. But Ana Torres, let's see some of her paintings right here. I mean, it's just so beautiful. Look at this. Look at the work that she puts on here. Now, this is so cool. The reason why this is so cool, because you can see that it's very minimalist, where you can see that she didn't take that much time on it, as you shouldn't, but you understand what the art piece is. Now, the thing that's really cool about this is that whenever you have key significant moments in history or key significant things that are trending, you can use those moments to paint them quick, and they'll sell. Because, like, for example, we had, what was it? Is it Artemis? Well, like going to the moon for the first time, or what? Whatever. Going to the moon for the first time, second time, I don't know. In 50 years, or who knows? You never know what these people are talking about. I don't know. But yeah, so on key things that you have, trending moments in history, or trending things that's going on in pop culture, or trending things that's going on in social media, pay attention to those moments as well, and you can make art about it, and they will sell, because those are the things that's going on, right? If it's an election time, then I'm going to make presidential pieces, because there's people on whatever side of the party are going to want presidential pieces. I'll do those. I'm about the money, all right? So I'll do things that are trending. If it's Christmas time, I'm painting Christmas stuff. If it's Halloween, I'm painting Halloween. You get the idea. These are things that you want to jump on, and try to jump on it if you can at least a month to 3 weeks to 2 weeks early. So that way people get a chance to buy these things beforehand. But you always want to paint things that are trending, all right? Look at the flowers on that. That is so beautiful. Beautiful work. Look at the buffalo. People love buffalo when it comes to eBay. People love buffalo. Look at that. I just love that how it's got so much fire. It's got fire behind it. It's got so much strength. And you can just see the dirt is kicking up. Beautiful artwork. Let's go to her store right now to see what the store is looking like. Okay. So look, she has 22 items sold and she has 70 collectors that she's earned. She has 70 collectors. So let's check out some of her artwork. Beautiful dog. Look how beautiful that dog is. All right, so the first photo was great. It shows what it would look like in a frame. What I would say on this one is have more important keywords that's in here that we have in the list. Have more keywords on here that we have inside the keyword list on how to do the listings. So that way it pulls up more on the algorithm. So you're losing views and you're losing people pulling in because you don't have you don't have the main SEO keywords on there. That's important. So yeah, you need to fill this out so there's 80 characters and you have more important keywords. Stretch, canvas, acrylic painting, that's not important enough. You need to have the main keywords in there. Those are keys. You need those are key things to get it sold, is the keywords. This run right here, because of this, it'll be lost. But this is beautiful, beautiful painting. I like the framing. You have a bunch of people putting hearts on that one, showing you love. I love how the second one shows the cam scan clean version of it. Now on this one, what I would do to change this one, since it's a canvas, don't have it be the white matte, because when people see matte like this, a white matte, they're thinking more of a paper, because usually it's paper that gets white matte, not canvases. Canvases don't have the white matte like this. Usually canvases look like this. This is what a canvas looks like. People understand this is canvas. With this, it looks like people will be like, is it paper? That's the canvas. Now, if you're going to show a photo of the back of it, what I would suggest is put your signature on it so people know that it's your signature on the back. People also want to see that it's signed on the back as well, because we sign all of our art on the front and the back. So if you're going to have a picture on the back, should make sure that it shows the back of the signature and also the year. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Great job. There's a picture of you so people know that you're human, that you're a real person, that you're personable. Combined shipping always available. Great job. So people understand why buy from you. An example of your certificate of authenticity. Great job. All right, this is a great listing, and you have a bunch of pictures on here. Yeah, so that looks really good. That looks really good, Anna. Let's see what else that we have here. I mean, look how much artwork that she has. It's all so beautiful. The same thing here, since it's a canvas, change the white matte border. And then also your keywords. You need to work on your keywords. So let's see here. Yeah, you need to fill out your keywords. Let's see what the keywords is on this one. This looks like a reference off of something that I painted recently. And that's cool. I don't have any problem with stuff like that. Like I always say, I say this all the time, is that if you see any references from me, or if there's something of a painting that you've seen from me, then paint it. I don't care, because I believe that there's enough money out here for all of us. And this doesn't belong to any of us. Like, we're here on earth to be creators, and we are all here collectively on the same thing. So this doesn't belong to me. This belongs to all of us. This community belongs to all of us. This channel belongs to all of us. Our art belongs to all of us. Matter of fact, let me grab this painting right here. I have to do it. I have to do it. All right, I got it. Check this out. So this is what she referenced right here. So really cool. Really cool. I'm honored. It's beautiful. But let's go back over to the listing. The listing, you can see right here, it doesn't have any of the it doesn't have any of the SEO keywords on here, so it won't get pulled. But also you don't have enough you don't have enough pictures on here. You only have 2, so it's not going to get pulled either. eBay's not going to rank this on the algorithm because there's not 7 pictures, at least 7 or more pictures on here, and the SEO keywords of what we have in our list inside the community is not on here. All right. So that's what I have right there. But other than that, I mean, you're doing a phenomenal job. I mean, as long as you just do those things right there, what I'm telling you how to do, then your paintings are gonna sell. It's just you just need help on the keywords. You need to populate those because they're lost without it. All right, let's see here. I was reading the comments, see if we had anything, but this is just beautiful. Look at that. Look at this, a young Denzel Washington. That's awesome. That's so cool. I mean, look at her store. Her store is just amazing right here. This is beautiful. Everything on here is so beautiful. Oh, come on. I love this painting. I want it. Now, is this a buy it now? Is this a buy it now? Or it is a buy it now. What I would suggest on this, since this is a 9x12 buy it now, change the pricing on this one to $1,000. That way you have a Rolex price. This is a problem on eBay. Do not sell yourself to the floor. Don't sell yourself to the floor because what's going to happen is the algorithm is going to think that you're just a cheap store and they're not going to push your store out there. eBay's a business as well too. eBay wants to make money, so they're going to push your stuff as long as you have a bunch of Rolexes in your store. A lot of people think that they're going to make money because you're doing volume by selling stuff at $20, $15, but the thing is nobody's going to buy it. It's not going to get seen and you're just racing to the bottom and you're going to have a store full of lower price stuff that nobody's going to see. And then when you do sell it, you're not going to feel good about this price anyways, because this painting is worth more than that, especially for a buy it now. You want to let people know on the market of where your store is at. If you want to increase your pricing, if you want to have more people come into your store, you got to increase the pricing on your buy it now store. Have a lot of more Rolex prices in there. That's how you're also going to increase the price on your auctions. A lot of people aren't having success with their auctions is because you don't have a lot of items out there into your buy it now store that have high Rolex prices on there, so people have a respect of who you are. Put $2,000 on this. Put $1,000, $2,000 on it. I mean, what difference does it make anyways? It's not like there's a limit of which you can really put onto your buy it now store. You can put as many as you want. There would be times where I would put a simple abstract painting on there for $500 to $1,000, but you need to have that on there so that way eBay's algorithm understands, because they only understand the algorithm of the index of what kind of store that you have, and they think that your store is going to be a fine art store then, and they're in the business of making money, so they're going to put you on a higher algorithm. Don't sell to the bottom. That was an elite gem right there. All right, if you made it this far into the video, you got an elite gem. So, but great store, really proud of you. All right, so that's who we have. That's what we had right there for the spotlight. That was really great, really beautiful artwork when it came to Nick, Anna. I appreciate you guys being consistent by showing up, by doing the work every single day. And it doesn't matter, like I tell people, it doesn't matter even if you're just starting off and you're doing 3 to 5 canvases a day. That's fine as long as you're being consistent. Let the algorithm understand and learn your consistency, and then you'll be able to scale from there and get better. But don't try to scale too fast, because then you're going to break the system and then you're not going to be shown. It's just one of those things. All right, so let's see here. I want to see some comments. All right, let's see some comments in here. If you haven't already, leave a like in the video. Let me know that you appreciate what we're doing so far for the spotlight video. Giving love on here, showing some appreciation, dropping the gems on there where we had the money secrets. Let me know if you're getting some great information. Put some likes in the video. Also, leave me a super chat to show some real love and appreciation. Let's see here. Sweet Life says, I love that bird. Super Anna, let's see here. Sweet Life says, your animals are incredible. Wow. Did that give you a boost or what? All right. Also, if you're not a member in the YouTube channel, you could become a member as well too. That could also get you prioritized anytime you write a message on there. So that way it highlights you out. But also you're going to get private videos on the YouTube that is either behind the scenes or certain videos that I don't want to release out there. Or I did want to release out, and you get certain videos, and I do those all the time because, like I said, I produce more content than what YouTube can handle. So a lot of times when I have extra content, like instead, I won't release it to the public. I'll just put it to the member section. So if you're not already a member, you could join the members into into YouTube. So you could become a member on there, an art member, elite member on there. And it's like, I think it's like $3, $5, stuff like that. And that way you can get access to behind the scene videos or more different stuff right there. So you get more information and even more paint videos. There's even paint videos over there. So that's just something. Let's see. Let's see what we have in the comments. All right, no super chats. All right, on to the next seggy, on to the next segment. So the next segment that we're going to have is we're going to be showing appreciation, and we're going to be giving a shout out to the winner's circle. All right, the elite winners. We're going to be showing the elite winners who've been having success this week, who's been having success either yesterday, and they want to tell their story. This is kind of like the testimonies above testimonies, right? Because I'm not the one writing it. I'm not these people. The thing that's cool about the community, about these testimonies, and about this winners segment is that once you're in the community, you can always reach out to these people and you can ask them, hey, how are they doing it? You can check out their store. You can reach out to them. That's what the cool thing is about the community. You're not doing this alone. You're not in some coaching program where people are reading and you don't know who these people are. You can reach out to real life people, see what they are, who they are, but they also provide their numbers and how they are successful, how they are winning, how they feel about it. And that's what I love about this as well, because the proof is in the pudding. Like I said, there's a lot of times that I take a lot of arrows for you guys. All right, I take a lot of arrows and blows for you guys. I take it all for you guys. It's okay, it's fine, because I already put the work out there where no one can say anything about our movement, our community. The proof is already in the pudding. Discerning Light, thank you so much for becoming a member. You joined up to be the painters member, so I greatly appreciate that. Thank you so much, Discerning Light, for becoming a member inside the YouTube, so that way you get access to so much videos and so much short videos and there's so much stuff out there for you to see. So it's really cool. Like I said, there's a lot of content that I drop, and YouTube can't keep up with me. So instead, what I have to do with the extra fat is I put it over to the member side, so that way you can get, or a lot of stuff. I even have videos in there where it's too much information, it's too important. So instead, I don't release it to the public. I release it into the member section. So I appreciate you, Discerning Light, for joining. But yeah, we're gonna do this right now, where we're going to go into the elite winners. All right, this is so important right now, the elite winners, and we're going to give love because they're showing love as well and showing how they were able to do it for themselves. All right, so our first elite winner that we're going to be breaking down today is Robert Wetzel. Robert Wetzel right here, he just joined, but he's been making it happen for himself. And this is what he had to say last night. So let's read it in together. He goes, "This system works. I'm only about 2 months into this program and have not been very consistent until the past couple of weeks. And I've made almost $1,000 in sales in just the last couple of weeks." So he's made $1,000 in 2 weeks. He just joined. He had no experience, and he had no experience with eBay It's been like less than 2 months. He came in, he hasn't been consistent because I understand how difficult it is to jump right into it. Like I get it. I was the same way. But once you start doing it, it becomes a dopamine once the money starts flowing and you see that it actually works once you work it. So he says, I can hardly keep up with the pace. He says, I have sold 6 buy it now paintings in 30 or more auctions. He says he can't even count. He says, this is literally printing your own money. And then he shows a screenshot of the items that's been paid. Paid, 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 paid. He also says at the bottom, he says, I just had my first $200 day. Wow. So the proof is already there. Don't day trade the numbers. Don't even day trade what people have to say that's in your family or naysayers or coworkers. Because like I always say, one of my selling points is that people don't have to actually know what we do. That's fine. Your coworkers don't have to know. No one has to know because it doesn't even matter. The proof is already in the pudding. That's why I'm able to always talk my talk. That's why I'm always able to be so confident in the things that I say, is because we're making the money out here. I've already done the work. I've already sold 18,000 paintings. Nobody can say anything to me. I've already made over $1 million. Nobody can say anything to me. I've already done the work. I've already made people the money. And this is what's important. This is what I feed off of. I feed off of freeing people so people can make additional money. So I always say to people, look, if he can make $1,000 in less than 2 weeks, then so can you. So can you. It's up to you. Now, the money's not going to fall from the trees, but the system is already there, built out for you. Everything is mapped out for you. All the copy and paste, all the templates, everything is mapped out for you inside the community for you to do this for yourself. Like if you could do that $1,000 and you just started and you haven't been consistent, imagine when it's a year from now what Robert is going to be looking like in his store when he's consistent, because he's been having the effect from it. He's been seeing the results, right? What can you do with an additional $2,000 to $3,000 a month? You could do a lot with that. I could do a lot with that. That's like a mortgage. That's a car payment. There's so many different things that you could pay with that. And that's just from him not even being consistent, right? So a lot of times people want to day trade the numbers, but they don't understand this part right here where he says he sold 6 buy it nows. Of course, you're naturally going to sell the 6 buy it nows. People who try to day trade our numbers and they don't understand how this works, they go, oh, but the auction is this, and what about this one? You would have to sell each painting for that. And I'm like, are you either you're being daft or you're being oblivious to where you don't know that people buy it now. You're not going to be making these sales and you're not going to be having a conversion rate and no one's going to buy from your buy it now store. It's impossible. It is impossible. That's what comes along with it naturally. People are buying from your buy it now store, but it's up to you of what you priced your artwork at. So that's why I was telling Anna, if you're consistent and you're doing the numbers, don't race to the bottom having these buy it nows at $20. Because then when everything adds up and someone goes back to your store who's the collector who buys from you and they're buying a $20 one, it's going to give them a psychology of that your stuff is $20 instead of the Rolex. Really, with them, they want to spend money with you. These people want to spend money with you, so give them an opportunity to spend money with you. And what they're going to do is they're going to go to your buy it now store and they're going to buy 6 buy it nows. Now it's up to you of what your price point is at the 6 buy it nows. You can have those at $300. You can have those at $400. Or they make an offer for it and they say, hey, I'll take them all, but let me get it for $200, something like that. Then what would you already have? On a situation like that, if they say, you know what, I want 6 of these pieces that you have. Can you work me out a deal where I get $200 for each of them? Automatically in a situation like that, you're making $1,200. People don't understand stuff like that. And it happens very quickly. It happens overnight. It all builds up. So let's see here. So I appreciate that Robert, because you've been putting in the work. And this is another thing that I always talk about too. We have people in the community who are making $20,000, but you never hear from them. You never hear from them. You'll never see them because they're working it. They're not engaging too much with the community. Or they always reach out to me and they ask me for permission. They'd be like, hey, can I write Can I write and say that I'm doing it, or let me just tell you, but don't say to nobody because I don't want it to be like, a lot of people are introverts of what we do. But great work, Robert. So let me go on to the next one. Today is actually a 2 for 2. So we have today I'm going to be doing 2 elite winners, and the second elite winner that we have that we're going to be talking about is Rachel Stevens. She's been doing a fantastic job. She's been doing phenomenal, and she says this yesterday. This was just yesterday. She goes, I have a new daily sales high. Last night, my account went nuts and I hit a new daily high sales of $360 in one evening. She says, my auctions were just okay, but I sold 4 buy it nows earlier this week. I had 2 separate auctions that went over $50 each. See, she put herself in a situation where she had her auctions go for $50 each. She had 2 separate auctions go for $50 where people were competing and they were bidding. Now, she just started as well, but it's going to get to a point where you have the snowball effect where you're having so many collectors. Once you get to a point where you have like over 100 collectors or so, you're going to get to a point where people are bidding and they're competing on your bids. So you're going to have those on there. People don't get this. That's why I always talk what I talk. That's why I talk my stuff, because it's like people don't understand this. Do you honestly think, like, you kind of know me at this point, do you honestly think that Corbellic would have sold 18,000 paintings if I wasn't making money off of it? Hell no. I'll be in a different business. I'd retire. I'd be like, I'm out of here. Why would I do it? It's addicting. I've been doing it for 7 to 8 years because this system works when you work it like this. And people from the outside who's day trading the numbers, they don't see this. Rachel just started. She had a high day of $360. What can you do what would you do if you're for $200 to $360 every day for 6 days? Think about that. Do the math. And then that's every day, right? Like, could you imagine on an average, okay, just starting off, you're making $300 a day. Right there, if you're doing that, you're already making 6 figures. 6 figures is $300 a day. All right, so it said I had 2 auctions up for $50. Three of the buy it nows were auction pieces that I rolled over to the buy it now. Exactly. See, you could do stuff like that too, where you could flip it over, where maybe something didn't go too well onto an auction. You let it sit on ice a little bit into your draft, and then you could do a sell similar and put it into your buy it now store. And that way people know that, hey, I'm about business. I'm going to let it sit there. And then eventually the people are going to buy it. They'll get more respect into your buy it now. It happens like that. She says, I didn't have a sell running and I accepted offers. I can see how this could be a path to cutting my day job down to 32 hours a week and eventually replacing my income. That is amazing to hear. Oh, thank you, Zinjin, for the super chat. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for the super chat. Let's see here. All right. I appreciate that. That really means a lot, Zinjin. Thank you for the super chat. So that's what it's all about right there. I really love hearing stories like this. It's a boost to my day. It lets me know that, like I said, we're doing God's work out here. We're doing God's business. We're helping people free themselves one piece at a time. Rome wasn't built overnight. I always say that, right? Rome wasn't built overnight, and also your business is not going to be built overnight, but this is going to be the fastest business to build your business. This is going to be the fastest way, the fastest business, the fastest growth business compared to anything else out there. Everything else you're going to need to spend $100,000 just to even get any kind of results. But you can do this as long as you're consistent. But I wrote to her at the bottom. I said, you got this. Just keep doing what you're doing. You're amazing. Be consistent. But I almost wrote something that was going to be like, I didn't want it to come off bad, but what I was almost going to write, and I was typing it out, but I deleted it. I was going to be like, okay, but now this is the scariest part. The scariest part is being consistent. Because once you start having these numbers and it's rolling, For some reason, the human mind, for a lot of us, we self-sabotage ourselves. And we want to either we tweak something too fast, we change something in the business structure, or we change something internally with us where it's like, all right, I'm scared to show up now. Because now we have eyes on us. So now it's like we're responsible. And really, only thing that you have to do is keep doing what you're doing. So that's why I just kept it simple. And I said, just keep doing what you're doing. Don't change anything much. Just keep doing what you're doing. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. Don't feel bad if whatever you're doing and you keep doing it and maybe you didn't have the same result of the next day or something. It all will even out, but just keep doing what you're doing. And a lot of times I would have moments like this and it would scare me and I would mess myself up with the consistency because I would try to tweak something, change something, or I would think that it was by luck. It wasn't meant for me. I'm not supposed to be successful. Everything else in my life never worked out for me. I'm an unlucky person. Why would this work for me? This is just a one-time fluke. They don't know that I'm an imposter. They don't know. I tricked them for today. These are all kind of thoughts that go inside like the head. Anytime something does go well for you, a lot of times you think that was just a fluke. That was luck. I'm an imposter. And really, you earned it. You did the work. It's just up to you now to keep going and just keep doing what you're doing. So that's it. That is what we got right there. All right, let's see who we have here in the comments. Will we have any comments in here? We have any super chats? If you haven't already, leave a like on the video. Let me know that you appreciate what the segments that we just did right there, where we showed love, where we did the appreciation for the winners in the elite circle right there. That is the elite circle. Clap, clap, clap. All right, I wish I had the soundboard right now where we have like the claps. And yeah, where we have the where we have the clap right there for the elite circle for the winners right there. That was amazing. Come on, those were amazing right there. Give some love. Give some love right there if you haven't already. Give some love to Rachel and give some love to give some love to Robert. Put some love into this video right there. Put some hearts in there. All right. So the next segment that we're going to be having right now is we're going to be talking about the stress of social media, right? The stress of social media and playing the game, chasing the game, and doing the whole back and forth, the whole trying to chase the numbers. All right. So this segment is we're going to be talking about social media. Why eBay beats social media every single time. And you can't pay me to go back. I will not go back. The only way that I ever deal with social media right now is if on the back end, I'm running some ads. Okay. If I'm running some ads, that's different. That's on Meta, but that's not going out to like family, friends, and I'm building a post and I'm making a story. This is behind the scenes, everybody. Look at my artwork. Look at the crowns that I'm using today. Look at the oils. Look at you can't pay me to go back to that stuff. I don't want to go back to that. When I was doing that, I was stressed out. That's why I call this segment the social media stress, because it is stressful. It's stressful. And then they lie where they say that nowadays that you have to do it in order for you to be a artist or you to sell something. And this is the crazy part. Well, what I always tell people what's so cool about eBay is I'm like, you don't have to be on social media to sell your art because the market is already there. So you don't have to feel the pressure to be like, dang, maybe I just want to make money by selling art, but I don't want the world or my friends or people on social media to actually think that I'm going into the profession of being an artist, right? Because that's already stressful enough. Because now if I'm doing that, I have to pretend that I'm this character, that I'm an artist, and this is something that I'm pursuing. But maybe that's not even something that you're pursuing, really. I never said that this is an art class. I never said that everybody here is artists and that's something that you want to do with your life. This is just something for you to make some money, and maybe you can either have your vacation, you can have your retirement, you can have an additional income. This could be your part-time job that nobody knows about. That's why I have successful ghosts that's inside the elite community where you never even hear about them, but they're successful because nobody wants to hear, like they don't want to put themselves out there. They go by a different alias. And it's understandable because I was the same way. But I started off falling into the whole thing of being like, I need to be an artist online, but I was broke. So when you're on social media, here you are, you're posting every day for attention because the algorithm on social media, it works the same way as it works like with YouTube, or it works on Facebook, or it works on anything where, even eBay, you have to post every single day. You have to have the engagement of every day. But the cool part about eBay's engagement of working it every single day is I get paid for it. They pay you to show up. It pays to show up on eBay compared to posting every single day and showing up every single day for eBay or for social media and Instagram. You're only doing it for free attention. You're only doing it for free likes. But eBay already has the buyers. So I'd rather do that. I'd rather put the work in. Like, anytime, if you notice that anytime I go into the stores of people's, anytime I go into the stores of the spotlight winners, I always show on there their collectors of who they earn, the followers. It says followers on there. But the difference between eBay's followers and social media's followers is that those are the people who actually bought from you. Those are people who actually have the credit cards that's linked to your account. Those are called hot leads, not warm leads, hot leads, because they already purchased. They have purchase engagement. The people on social media, they have 0% conversion rate. They care more about attention. But also when you're chasing the likes, you're chasing the followers, a lot of times you're just chasing robots. You're chasing numbers. And once you chase numbers, it never stops. And the numbers aren't even real. You don't even know who it is. Oh, I like your stuff. I like it. You're really cool. It could be people from your high school or from neighborhoods that who you haven't even lived there in years or decades. And then in eBay, the buyers, they care more about the product. That's what it's about compared to the likes. It's not a place there for attention and engagement. It's there so they can actually buy the product. Another thing on social media, people chase going viral, and they think going viral, it means money when it doesn't. So you actually, I mean, you nowadays it's so crazy where you actually have artists out there who are making money from not them being artists, but I can't even say that either, right? Because whatever, it's subjective. But you have people out there who are influencers who are doing viral moments. I'm going blindfold, and I got I'm blindfolded, and I have a chainsaw with paint on it, and I'm I'm letting it spray, and I'm doing this, and then I'm hanging upside down while people are beating me with a baseball bat. And that's their art right there. They're more like performative art so they could go viral, and then people click on their stuff, and then maybe they sell it that way, but not because of the art itself. In comparison to listings, they work while you sleep when you're on eBay. I call it passive income on eBay. So for example, where you have people who go out of town on eBay, I hear it all the time in the community. People go out of town, they come back, and then they make sales, and they're like, how did I make sales? And I wasn't even consistent. I was out of town. I call it passive income because those pieces that you didn't spend 1,000 hours doing the polar bear hairs on, you just listed it up onto your buy it now store, and you forgot about it. And you might have put it up for $100, $200, $300, but when it sells, it's passive income because you already forgot about it. You left it there, and then it sells. Compared to, you could leave your portfolio up on social media, and you can have these items up, but it's not passive income on social media. It just sits there. Now, also the thing that's crazy about social media and chasing the views, you feel the pressure of becoming a personality. This is something that I fell into as well, where it's like I had to be like a different personality than who I was. I'm the artist. I'm the salesperson. I had to be like one of those artists from I had to be one of those artists that's more mystique and mysterious, right? I had to be like, this piece right here, it symbolizes the 17th century where everything is dark and gloomy, but then the light it comes from outside of you and inside of you at the same time. It's like if you ever watched that movie Zoolander, where they're all trying to be cryptic and everything. You try to be a personality, and then everything becomes more of you being a poet than an artist. And here, this is the crazy thing: when you're on social media, you can be more of this poet, personality person, where you're trying to have these selling pieces and you're trying to be so vulnerable, right? And yeah, I had so much trauma when I was a kid, like I really come from a broken home and I'm hurt, like those type of artists. And then you do all this stuff and it doesn't even sell. So here you basically just did a free therapist session where you're a crazy person and you're a crazy person for free. Why in the hell would you do that? Now, the cool thing about eBay is that you can sell without the big audience. You don't need to build up you don't need to build up an email list. You don't have to build up a funnel. You don't have to build up a newsletter. You don't have to build up these viral moments with these big audience that nobody's going to buy from in order for you to sell art. You can start selling art with a little audience or no audience at all, social media. You saw in this spotlight where we have people who just joined and they already have 80 collectors. Now that's just starting off. Imagine, I always tell people, imagine 6 months from now, imagine a year from now, and you're doing it consistent. Do you know how many collectors that you're going to have? You know how many people are going to be competing on your bids? You know how many people are going to be buying from your buy it now at that point? Like, I think right now I have like 3,500 collectors on eBay, or 4,000 collectors on eBay that I collected. You're going to get there. You are going to get there, and you could do it all. You could change your life with a little audience. You don't need a big tribe. So that's the difference as well too. But also wasting time on algorithms. There used to be times where you waste your time on an algorithm. What time should I post? Should it be 7 p.m.? Should it be 9 p.m.? No. I'm going to do the midnight post where I post at nighttime because people are up at different times in the world at that. And then in the morning time, I'll delete the post and then I'll go back and I'll deliver with a different post. People actually do this. They call it the nighttime posting, where people will have a post scheduled for like 2 a.m. or something like that for the algorithm for the different world or the nighttime shift. And then by the time morning, they delete the post and then they start with a new one at 7 a.m. Like, these are all algorithm tricks to try to get higher up on the engagement and have more clicks on there and go viral. Like, all of these things is so stressful. Who wants to do that? Who wants to do that just so you could get no conversions? Instead, the search traffic, it beats the vanity metrics. So the search traffic, there's already 189 million people who are buying on eBay. The 145 million people that already have their credit cards on there. The top SEO besides Google and YouTube is eBay. eBay has one of the top SEO search bars on there where people are looking for. Anytime people are looking for an item, it doesn't matter what it is. Oh, I forgot Amazon, okay? But it doesn't matter what it is. If you type it into your search bar and you're looking for something, a bar of soap, a flag, a whatever, what's the site that always comes up? The algorithm is always going to pick up, and it's always going to show on eBay. That's why I always talk about to have the keywords and how to populate it. It's important to have your keywords right. Because if you don't have your keywords right, then you're lost in the fog. It don't matter how beautiful your artwork is. You need to make sure that your keywords are there properly. And inside the community, I have a list on there of like over 200 of the SEO keywords and how to populate it into your store. But the cool thing is, we're the fastest of how we list. And I show you don't have to do it individually, because that's like work by itself, where you're like, oh, I got to do the keywords individually for each listing. I don't want to do that. That's work. Only thing you have to do is a similar way of how I show it in the system, where it's kind of a bulk system. And you don't have to do it individually. It's very fast. And you don't have to worry about that. All right. But it's all broken down in there. Join the community and you can see how you can do that for yourself. Now, when you're also on social media, you're confusing views with sales, right? I mean, we even do that sometimes ourselves when it comes to eBay. That's why I always talk about don't day trade the numbers. I really say that too from a mindset of social media. How many times have you had I don't know if you ever had a viral moment on social media. I used to have a bunch of viral moments on social media. And especially when I was doing like I would do time lapse videos. So think about that. Like I would always do time lapse videos. So I would work on these big canvases and I treated it like a job because I'm like, well, I have to keep doing it because one day I'm going to get a big sale and this is for my job. This is how I sell it. So I would always have to prepare these big canvases, do a gallery style, and I would do a time lapse. I would have a GoPro that was like on a 2 second interval, and then it would take pictures or videos every 2 seconds. So that way, then I would edit it later on, and then I would put it up on Instagram, and then like I like the job as well too, as I would even have to do the editing of the videos just so I could go viral. And I would think that the views and how many people are watching it, oh, I'm getting all these clicks. Yeah, I'm getting clicks from people who are like, they appreciate it. And mostly what it is, and to be honest, and it sucks to say it, is I'm competing with other artists. There are other people who I'm really worried about on social media when it comes to stuff like that, is I'm worried about other artists. I'm more like making these videos for other artists, and I'm not making it for collectors. The collectors, they don't care about the process. I'm worried about the process by trying to get the views. But when it comes to eBay, they care about the product. They care about the end result. So that's what mattered. Let's see here. And the product first beats the content first because the product is already there. They don't care about all of the process and the time lapse and the all this other stuff that you're doing. They care about the end result. But also, once you have the end result, you're going to have more data points of what is more successful, what things work in the system. You're going to have more data points of what is actually selling. I mean, if you look at my deeper stuff when I was on social media, I mean, I was making beautiful art, right? Okay, we already know I'm an artist. I could do that. I believe that we're all creative. That's not a question. We all have the light and genius that's inside of us. But the art that I was creating was totally different in comparison to what like I do now, which I used to call it boring funeral art home paintings. But now I think it's all beautiful of like the stuff that I do because I've been doing it for so many years and I've been doing so many of it where I put it into my own way of how I do it. But beforehand, how I paint now, I went and thought about painting like it before. I thought it was boring, but it makes the money. So do you want to feed my ego where I'm getting free likes and I'm Instagram famous and the gallery world thinks, but I'm broke, right? I'm struggling. And even if I reached out to these people and it sucked, it sucked too being a business on social media because there's going to be moments where you want to do a launch and you want to do a business and then you know what sucks about social media when you put yourself out there like that, you realize you're scared to do a launch because you know that the viewers are fake, you know that they're broke, and you're scared to put it out there because it's like they ain't got no money. I'm asking people who are free like clickers, hey, can you give me money? And it feels horrible like I'm a homeless person now. Like I'm doing all this free content for y'all. I'm doing all these clicks. I'm doing all this work. And then it's like once a year, I come out and I say, hey, I'm selling this product. I'm selling these prints. I'm selling this shirt. I'm selling this whatever. Here's my website. Here, sign up to the newsletter. Can you do that? No, they don't. Now you might get people who sign up to the newsletter, but then when you put the newsletter here, this is the launch. Can you buy this? You know, the only people who might buy it is like maybe someone in your family or maybe someone who's like they do it out of a guilt buy, right? Or through association. But you don't get it where the numbers don't even translate to what the work is that you've been putting over the years and all of the likes, all of the clicks and everything. And then you're like, dang. So then you feel like if you don't understand the business, you're thinking that you're a bad artist. You start reflecting it on yourself. And you're broke, and other people don't even understand you're broke, and you can't even act, you can't even say that you're broke because then people are like, but you're doing so well online, but all these people like your stuff, yeah, and then they don't want to even admit that they're broke. So you got all these broke people in the world who are living double lives, and it's crazy. Or you start even resenting people, and you don't even want to feel like that. You start resenting people who you might want to make a sell on something and then they don't want to pay you for it, but they always act like they got the money, but then they say they're broke. But then maybe a month later, you see them with a picture where they're on vacation with their wife or something that's their money. But then you start be like, oh, but you're spending your money on vacation, huh? You could have bought a painting from me when I needed it. So that's the stuff that happens. And then what happens is the last point is that you end up getting burnt out. You get burnt out trying to look popular. And this is something that I fell into. I got burnt out where um just doing the whole chasing the tail, jumping through hoops, you get burnt out so quick. And I got burnt out. Once I got burnt out, I think it was like my last post. It was in 2020. And I said, you know what? I'm done with digital narcissism. Like I'm done with it. And I think we're on to a new future, a new wave. I didn't know what it was, but then I just really started going into eBay and being a ghost, and I was done with it. But the sales matter more than attention. So I always tell people, I'm not one to force you to go in whatever direction that you're supposed to go into. I'm not one to tell you what's right or wrong because that's your life, right? I'm not one to say, hey, you're wrong because you care more about your ego or social media or free likes. If that works for you, that works for you. If you really want to be this gallery artist and do that, then if that works for you, then that's cool. That works for you. But I know for me, I want paychecks every single day. I want money that's consistent. I want to be on a platform where they have the biggest market already. And I'm going to focus on that. And that's what worked for me. All right. But that's just something I wanted to break down right there when we're talking about the social media stress. All right. Social media stress and the difference between playing the game of social media versus having a systems in place when you're working on eBay. All right. Let's see here. Let's see who we have here in the chats. Do we have any chats here? We have any super chats? Leave me some likes on the video if you haven't already. Leave some likes in the video if you haven't already. All right, I'm just reading some of the chats. All right. Entertaining, exactly. Says, I don't know what it is, but even though I'm not yet a member of the elite community, what you're saying resonates deeply with me. You completely demystified the sick system we live in. Yeah, well, that's what we do around here, right? Like we tell the truth, we're transparent. That is what we do around here. All right, so the next segment that I have is we're going to be talking about, there's something that I've seen online and it resonated with me, where it's about waiting. Like we're always feeling like we're waiting for a moment. We're always feeling like, remember we talked about in the secret mindset where we had the money secrets course and the old secrets to how to bring this energy and how to have how to have the manifestation and things come to you, right? Now, one of the things where we talked about is that the feeling of waiting, looking at the numbers, checking the numbers. Oh, is it coming? The anxious feeling, the feeling that you're not good enough, the feeling that you're always waiting for an opportunity to come to you in your life. The feeling that there's always something more. The more that you're always going to feel like that, I promise you, you are going to get older and older and older, and you are always going to be waiting. You're always going to be waiting. There's never going to be the moment where you feel like it's going to happen for you, or that let's see here. I'm just making sure that that you're always going to be waiting, and you're never going to be having the moment where it's going to happen for you. So a lot of times we always think to ourselves in our life, well, as soon as this happens, I'm going to retire. As soon as this happens, then I'm going to do this. As soon as I get this number, then that's going to happen. You're always putting fires out. And what happens is you get in the habit of putting fires out where there's always going to be a new fire. There's always going to be something. And the secret to prayer, even though we hear it all the time, is to have, is to be grateful. You have to be grateful. You have to be grateful for your day. You have to be grateful for the opportunity. You have to be grateful that you have a paintbrush in your hand. You have to be grateful that you have shoes on your feet. You have to be grateful that you have two hands, two eyes, two ears, and you have a brain. You have a roof over your head. I'm pretty sure you're fed. You have a car. You have to be grateful for every little thing. And then that's where the true blessing comes from. One of the things that I talk about all the time, and it's true, and is one of my mentors taught me, is that stop waiting because you're always going to be waiting. Stop putting out fires because you're always going to put fires out. There's always going to be something new. And whatever you're waiting for example, if you're saying to yourself like, oh, well, I can't wait when I hit the lottery ticket because then I'm going to be a good person. Then I'm going to be disciplined. Then I'm going to go to the gym. Then I'm going to, a lot of those things are feelings that you could do anyways, you could do for free. And or you say, I can't wait when this sale happens and I'm waiting for the 10-day duration and I'm waiting for me to get this sale and everything's going to be right. And it's never really going to be right. And this is the life that you have to be comfortable with. Even if you're a billionaire or whatever, it's never going to be, there's always things that us in the human condition that we're always going with. It's never going to be right. And you have to say to yourself, what is this feeling that I'm looking for? If I want to be rich, if I want to have this car that I want, if I want to have this house that I want, if I want to have this success that I want, it's not really the monetization of it that you want. Really what you're looking for is the feeling. You're looking for a certain feeling. You're looking for a feeling of like having people cheer around you, your family give you a hug, this feeling inside of this happiness, maybe from your kids looking at you, or maybe when you're on vacation, like these certain feelings. And you need to take, like we said, in the mindset course that's at the end, take 5 minutes of your time to journal these things. Really close your eyes and reflect on this feeling that you want. Now that you could think closely of what this feeling is that you want, I really want you to give yourself permission to start feeling it today. And that is how you are going to manifest, and that is how you're going to bring the energy of the things that you want to you, is because you're not waiting for this moment. You're not always waiting. You're giving yourself permission to feel whatever it is that you want today. You don't have $1 million today, all right? But what is it that you want from the $1 million? It's not just the money, because the money is just the money. The money is just a piece of paper. But what comes with it? What feeling comes with it? Give yourself permission today to have that feeling. And what does that person look like in the future who has that? What habits do they have? What do they look like when they wake up in the morning? What do they do? Do they eat breakfast? Do they read a book? Are they tidy? Is their house, is their studio a little bit more cleaner than how yours is? Do they have things more organized? What are these things? What are these feelings? Give yourself permission to be that person today and to have that feeling today, so you're not always waiting. But I wanted to show this. This segment right here where something I caught, and I thought it was a really good thing to go into.
All those problems you're racing home to fix is problems when you get there. And once you solve them, there's a whole new set right behind them. You gotta enjoy the moments between the problems. Otherwise, problems is all you'll have.
You know, it's funny, I don't recall that philosophy when you were climbing inside of a whiskey bottle after filing a missing persons report on my mother.
I didn't know it then. You take a long, hard look at me. I'm a roadmap to living life wrong. But every time I got left, I'm gonna enjoy this steak, that sweet tea, a dance with your wife, that granddaughter's smile. You got it all, son. But you're too fucking stupid to see it, or too mad, or too addicted to the fix. Whatever it is, you're missing it.
I'm gonna be in trouble.
He knew he was right. And that's why he started off even saying,
hurry, son.
What's your hurry?
All those problems you're racing home to fix is problems when you get there.
What's your hurry? All those problems that you're looking to fix, all those things that you feel like you're just waiting on and you're always waiting, you're always going to have problems to fix. You're always going to have things that's going to come up. What is your hurry? You're going to get there. You are going to get there. Take your time. Take your time. You will get there. But while you're taking your time and you know that you're going to get there, the fastest way to get there is slow is fast, fast is slow. That's what they teach in the military. You are going to get there, but you're putting stress on yourself every single day by thinking that you need to be there today. You're going to get there. So instead, give yourself permission to feel however you need to feel today. Give yourself permission, or whatever the thing that you're trying to fix, whatever the goal is that you have today, whatever that feeling is. That way you already know that you're a millionaire today. You already know that you're rich in life today. You need to be grateful for the things that you do have instead of always fixing, because then you become addicted to the fix. Let's play that again.
And once you solve them, there's a whole new set right behind them. You gotta enjoy the moments between the problems. Otherwise, problems is all you'll have.
You know, it's funny, I don't recall that philosophy when you were climbing inside of a whiskey bottle after filing a missing persons report on my mother.
I didn't know it then. You take a long, hard look at me. I'm a roadmap to living life wrong. Whatever time I got left, I'm gonna enjoy this steak, that sweet tea, a dance with your wife, that granddaughter's smile. You got it all, son. But you're too fucking stupid to see it, or too mad, or too addicted to the fix.
Too addicted to the fix. He says you got it all. So that's the thing that we don't really realize, is that we have it all. We already have it. We already have the riches. We already have the riches and time. Look, if you're blessed right now, even if you're able to listen to me right now, if you're part of this live stream, then you're already blessed because you're here. You already have the luxury to be able to be in your car, to be at your job, to be on your phone listening to this, or wherever you're getting this information at. You are blessed, and that we need to just slow down. Look, this message hit home for me because this was something that was always that's something I needed to work on. This is something that helped me grow because I was always addicted to the fix. I was always addicted to growing and doing more, and I need to do this and I need to do that, instead of saying to myself that, hey, I already have everything that I need right now. I already have the metrics and the money that I was trying to hit anyways. But what more is there? There is nothing more. The thing now more is to help other people, to teach, to coach. This is the thing that's even more so now for me. We will eventually get there. Just give yourself permission. Don't be addicted to the fix. All right, so I'm going to go into this other video right here, which is going to be an artist reaction. All right, and let's see here. We're just going to go over a quick time lapse of this artist right here. His name is Francisco D'Adamo. Francisco D'Adamo. Now, the cool thing about this artist right here is that he is a abstract artist. I don't know if I can have any of his music on here. I don't know if it's copyright, so I'm going to have to mute it on here. But if you're listening right now and you don't have a chance to view this right now, we're viewing a landscape, or we're viewing a abstract, quick time lapse of this artist, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful abstract. I love paintings like this. This is stuff that I love to do, especially on a large scale, because you can see that it's more physical into his body. He's not using his wrist. It's more where it's his body, but you can see how loose he is with the drips, right? Like, look how the artwork drips on there. He's going in with bold strokes. These are the pieces that you see in modern day museums right now. And these are the pieces that people all over. But the beauty is that he's using a negative contrast where he's using the white. So you can see where he uses the white over the parts. The white is very powerful. People don't understand how powerful the white is because you have to have an understanding and a bravery to use the white. Most people think that you're just using the white, where you're just using a white canvas. So Let's see here. Look how beautiful it is and the layers of it. This is some of my favorite art, to be honest with you. I love doing art like this. I love doing backgrounds like this. I'm inspired by it all. I'm inspired by all of your art. I go through seasons. I'm like how Picasso feels, where Picasso went through seasons of different things that he was inspired off of. And I always feel like that, where it's like there's certain things that I love doing, and there's other things that I love not doing. So you see how bold he was in this decision? I got to rewind it just a little bit for you. Well, actually, no, I don't. But whatever, it doesn't matter. But you can just see he did a layer on top of it, where he did a white layer on top of it. And he went back and he made another decision. When it comes to art, you have to be comfortable and you have to be confident where you can scribble on top of a decision that you thought was good before, something that you worked on. Because art is never over with. Like, look, it looks like he could do this painting forever. Like, it looks like he could just keep adding layers and layers and layers. That way, when people go to the museum and they actually see this, they can actually see, like, wow, it looks like it's a genius thing because there's actually so many layers underneath of it. There's an underpainting on top of an underpainting. And there's so much depth to it. So that's why I love paintings like this, because it's usually, but the thing is, when it comes to eBay, I had to learn that I couldn't do this as often as I wanted to, because I'm frugal and I don't want to waste that much paint. I can only get away with stuff like this if it's like, if I'm in my gallery days and I'm like, oh, this painting is naturally going to be $10,000. Why? Because I use 30 layers of paint on here. I could tell to the gallery, or I could tell to the collector. Oh, the reason why is because here, let me show you a video of the time lapse of what I did and all the layers of paint that I use, all the house paint, all the acrylic, all the whatever. I wouldn't want to do this right now. And then it's like for an auction or for something that's a buy it now. I'm losing money on the paint. I need that paint so I could be producing more than this. I mean, this painting. So what I love about this painting is I usually do stuff like this, right? So you can see right here, for me in my imagination, how I look at this right now is that I see right here like a guy, and you can see a figurative body, and then you can see like maybe another face right here. I love paintings like that where it's like figurative, like neo-expressionist figurative, and it's up to you of what your imagination to see of a character that's in there. So I don't just see abstract in this painting. What I see is a figure. This is the head, this is the body, maybe this is the arm, this is another face, maybe a little bit of the lips or something like that. And I would do stuff like that. But what I would do on this layer, on personally, what I would do on top is I would actually do like maybe some flowers, and then I would do actually more. I would punch in more of a figurative woman, like a figure on there, and then have that be on top. It's more deep because of the background and the work that you've done. So I used to do a lot of these. I used to do a lot of this type of work, and I just think it's beautiful. So that's why I wanted to cover this artist right here, which is Francisco D'Adamo. Francisco D'Adamo. Beautiful artwork, Francisco D'Adamo. Let's see here. Also, okay, since we're still here, let me go into this. Let me go into this right here. Look what I was able to find. Let me refresh this. Let me copy this link. Look, I found the artist right here with the, I can't play that music, I get copyright. There's the polar bear hairs. Or would you rather do this? Are you more interested in Francisco D'Adamo's artwork, right? Where he's having fun. He's being expressionist with his artwork, or expressive, or would you want this? Which one? Here's the polar bear hairs. 1,000 hours. Detailed Coca-Cola polar bear. Look, he's got to make sure it's the right. If not, you're going to ruin the whole thing. Oh, don't ruin it. Oh, Oh, it's so beautiful. All right, there it is right there. All right. There it is. Let's see some of his other artwork since we're here. Look at this. The golden reflections. Look, 1,000 hours. Oh, wow, it's so beautiful. Now, don't get me wrong. This guy is a phenomenal artist. I mean, come on, nobody could take this away from this guy at all. Like, this is beautiful. It's beautiful, but it just looks like a picture. It looks like somebody photographed it, right? So, for me personally, I would get bored of it because I don't want to do a painting of something that somebody could just like do a large copy of a print or something like that. I want to do something that's based off of mistakes and happy mistakes of things that I didn't intentionally intend to get there. But there is no wrong. There is no wrong. I'm not saying that there's a right or wrong. This guy is extremely talented. And whatever he charges for this painting, he deserves every dollar. Okay? For sure. But let's see how he does his paint. Look, he works off of acrylics. Like he's doing his final touches right now. Look at that. The whiskers is always the final touch. And then he's putting the reflection in the eye. Look at that. Wow, that's so beautiful. I mean, it looks so detailed. Imagine that in your house. Let's see what this painting is that he's going to reveal. Oh, now that's my speed. That looks like Corbellic painted it right there. Now we're talking. That's my painting. That's what I like. I'm gonna make this painting. I'm gonna put up on eBay, and then I'm gonna do another one. I'm gonna get on to the next one. All right. I love this painting. Now we're talking. People are laughing, but I like it. I mean, look at this one right here. Look at this cheetah. It's so beautiful. But my thing is, me personally, I just don't have the patience. I don't have the patience to do this. I don't have the patience to sit down in classroom to I don't have the patience to sit down in the classroom and do this because it looks like a photograph. And I just me personally, I'm not really into photograph paintings or sketches because like and this I could print it and just blow it up. Why should I pay you $10,000 for something that's not outside of yourself? I like happy mistakes. I like the expression of something that I can't get from an artist. I can't get unless you did it by mistake. You weren't meant to do that. I like that. But this is still beautiful. Don't get me wrong. I mean, come on, right? Like this guy's amazing. Let me see here. Does he really do a painting? Look, you can see where he draws it out. Whoa, look at that. But I see these are performative. These are performative videos as well too, because it's like for videos where it's like to make it seem like this type of stuff is performative. All right, look, y'all, this is how it starts. This is how it ends. Yeah, oh yeah. I did 100 million hours like this, everybody. I don't know. It's boring to me. I'm sorry, it's boring. It's very talented because he has the technique. You have the technique and you have the technical skills, but you're just following A, B, C, D. This looks like somebody who's like, maybe they got straight A's in school and they're scared to make mistakes. So they do something that is exactly planned. This is something that's exactly planned. A, B, C, D. Let's see here. He says, I hate realism. Why copy something that already exists? No one could copy God. No one can copy God anyway. It's better to paint emotions, expressions, moment, feelings. That's how I feel. And the reason that I talk about the polar bear hairs and I talk about art that's like this is because me personally, I went through a phase in my life where I didn't think that I was an artist because I didn't have the patience to do this realism. I didn't have the patience to do I didn't have the patience to sit in class and to learn symmetry and shades and shadows. Like Picasso said it took him 17 years of his life to learn how to draw like a boring adult, which is realism, because Picasso knew how to do realism. But it said it took him 50 years of his life to learn how to paint like a child, which is more freeing and it's emotion. And there was a long time in my life. That's why I had 77 different corporate jobs in my life, because there was a large section of my life where I thought that artists were broke and they were starving artists if they didn't make art like this. Like I felt like in order for you to be an artist, that you had to make artwork like this. And you had to express yourself this way, or you had to be perfect, or you're not an artist, or you're not going to make money. And I wish that I had somebody like me who told the younger me, you know what, don't focus on that. Just be yourself and paint like a child, or and have your emotions into it. Whatever your emotions is, whatever your impressions is, whatever your expression is, those are the things that's most important. And that's the stuff that I made more money than galleries. I made more money than galleries just by being in an emotion expressionist painter. This stuff is boring to me. It's beautiful, don't get me wrong. I understand the aesthetics of it. I understand the aesthetics of it and the technical part of it, but it's boring because I wouldn't want to go to the studio. Because could you imagine the torture if somebody says to you, hey, I want to hire you for a commission. Can you do another one of those? I would hate that, because then you're basically you're asking me to do a portrait of something that I have to get right. I love where people ask me, hey, Corbellic, I want to pay you for something that is your emotion. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the painting is going to be, but I trust you for whatever your artistic decision is going to be. And whatever comes out of you, I'm just happy to pay for it, because that's one of your free expression, colorful things. That's how I work. Anytime I do commissions, I work where it's going to be fun, it's going to be creative. I get to be a child when I'm creating. I don't want somebody to pay me so I could do homework like this. I don't want somebody to pay me so that way it's torture. Because imagine somebody pays me for a job and you're paying me to do this. Really, you're paying me for my time so I could be a perfectionist. And I gotta do 1,000 polar bear hairs. That's torture. I don't want the money. I like my money where you're asking me to be a child. I want to show up to the studio to create whatever I want to create. I always say that in my creations now. I always say that in my if I do a commission, I have to kind of like the person, because I don't want it to be like I have to understand that they understand that they're buying a piece of Corbellic, and it's up to me. And I always tell them it's through my intuitive art. Even if they need to have a clarification on the intuitive art part, then I say to them that the intuitive part art, it comes from whatever's inside of me in that moment. But I need you to trust in my artistic decision that it's going to be beautiful, because all of my artwork's beautiful, because God doesn't make any mistakes, and they're all happy mistakes. So these are the things that I say. And as long as they understand that and they're appreciative that they're getting a Corbellic piece, and it's going to be that, then it's a work of art. It always comes out beautiful. And whatever it is, I don't know what it is. We could work off of the size, and I can have somewhat of an idea of what you want, but whatever I want to do is what I want to do. That's what you're paying me for. And like I said, I've gotten contracts up to 20, 30, $30,000 for series of commissions. I wouldn't want to do something like this where it's like, hey, I'm going to pay you so you can do 1,000 of these hairs. That doesn't feel creative to me. It feels like homework. So that's what we have right there for the artist reaction. Let me see if we have some comments in here. Let me see what you think. Discerning Light said he might be a Virgo. I wonder that as well, Brittany, where it's like beautiful painting, but I wonder if the time consuming, I wonder if the final price matches the time effort. Probably not. Really, what I wonder if there's something else that he's doing, like maybe he actually does do a canvas print, and maybe it's a canvas print, and then he just pretends that he's painting the. I don't know. Maybe it's something like there. Through the beginning of time, every artist has always tried to figure out how to do things faster. So I don't think that you feel good about yourself that you're spending 100 million hours on something and wasting your time on one painting or whatever. You can't guarantee that some oil tycoon, whoever, is going to come by and buy that painting for your price point of whatever that time is. Because during that time, you have to think about, if you worked a job, you have to think about the time that it took you to do it, the materials, the mental space of where you were at to do it, or the time that you could have been losing money. So it has to equate for all of that. And you can't guarantee whatever that paycheck's going to be for that time that for you to do that painting that is going to equal out to the painting plus double or triple. Whatever that time is that I lost, I want at least threefold of that. And you can't guarantee that. Discerning Light says, I could imagine that he would get tired after making copy after copy eventually. Exactly. So that's the thing too. Could you imagine? That's why I made the joke on there. Could you imagine you do a beautiful painting like that, a really big one, and then all of a sudden you get somebody who's like, you know what? I really like that one. I want two of them for my I want two of them for my daughter-in-law, and another one for my cousin's house or something like that. I would be like, really? Forget it. I don't even want to be an artist no more. I don't want to do it. So now I got to do 100,000,000 polar bear hairs. Like, really? And then it's like, then at the end of it, you didn't recreate, you didn't do anything really new. You didn't have something that's outside of yourself. It's just a tiger, in my opinion, right? In my opinion. But that's why it's an opinion, because there is no right or wrong. Art is subjective. All right, so now we're going to go into the next segment right here, which we always do when it's the segment of work for yourself. We always go into the quick segment of work for yourself because it's important. It's something that I'm passionate about. You know, it's something that I love talking about, right? Like, we always talk about work for yourself. And let's go into it right now. Work for yourself.
In 4 hours, but takes 8. The extra 4 hours is not work, it is performance. You are not being productive, you are being seen being productive, and your employer knows the difference. They just need you there anyway, because an empty desk makes them nervous. Not because the work requires it, because the optics require it. Think about your last 8-hour day. How many of those hours moved something forward? How many were meetings about meetings, emails acknowledging emails, looking busy while waiting for something to actually need doing? Parkinson's law states that work expands to fill the time available for its completion. Give someone 8 hours, the work becomes 8 hours. Give someone 4 hours, the same work gets done in 4. You are not unproductive. You are trapped in a system designed around presence, not output. And the most dangerous question you can ask inside that system is, what would happen if I finished everything and went home? Am I wrong?
So if you followed that, how many of you ever feel like that? How does that resonate with you? Where you're at your job, they just want you there for 8 hours, right? But you know you're not working the 8 hours. I always say this, that really what you're working, when they do a study on it, you're only working like 3 to 4 hours. You're only working 3 to 4 hours, and the rest of it is fillers. The rest of it is meetings. The rest of it is going to your coffee. The rest of it is you searching the internet. There's only so much stuff that you can actually search on the internet. The internet gets boring, but you're only doing it to fill your time. There's other times where you're actually scrolling, you're doom scrolling onto your phone. You're sitting there. That's why I say they are paying you a salary to forget about your dreams. The thing is, when you actually work for yourself and when you're an entrepreneur, you actually have to work the time of what you're doing, but it's rewarding. I'd rather pay myself $20 than somebody pay me $200,000, because you're paying me $200,000 to give me fake responsibilities and things that don't matter. You're actually paying me so I can forget about my dreams. You're actually paying me so I can sit down like a good boy for 8 hours. I'm a slave sitting down at that cubicle. I'm a slave sitting down at that desk where things don't even matter. I'm doing numbers that don't even matter. They don't even matter to you. They don't even matter to the company. It's 2026. They can have AI do it. It's dangerous for them if they have an empty cubicle. It's dangerous for them if that space is empty. Because then what it means is that you have a society that is freeing themselves one by one. It's dangerous if you are freeing yourself to learn how to start a business. Why do you think in school in America they don't teach you about taxes? They don't teach you about how to balance out your account. They don't teach you finances. They don't teach you about credit. They never teach you how to be a boss. They never teach you how to be a boss in school. They never teach you how to be a boss, really, even in college. They teach you things that's outdated. Why are you teaching me outdated stuff, right? You're teaching me stuff that's like from 20, 30 years ago, that all based off of theory. But you're not teaching me. What you're teaching me is how to work in corporate America. You're teaching me how to be a slave by sitting at the desk. Now, another thing is that most of these companies, they paid a huge commercial leasing contract with the bank. And they paid these commercial leasing contracts so that way they can keep you inside the building. But nowadays, when you look at a lot of metropolis and you see these skyscrapers, those skyscrapers are empty. A lot of them were empty since COVID. They're empty because a lot of times people had to taste the remote work, where they found out during that time through a social experiment that you could actually finish your job and you could do your job within 3 to 4 hours. You didn't actually need to be in the office. It was just a way to keep you trapped in there. Then more people woke up. So then once they got a taste of freedom and they woke up, it was hard for them to say, hey, come back to the office. Come back. Why do I need to come back to the office when a lot of these companies were still making profits by us being at home and us just doing the emails? Why do you need me at the office? You need you at the office so you can listen to that dead sound music that's on the frequency, that's on the radio, and it's lowering your frequency. So you don't believe in yourself. You're getting paid to forget about your dreams. You're getting paid to not free yourself. All right, let's play that back one more time. All right.
If your job could be done in 4 hours, but takes 8, the extra 4 hours is not work, it is performance. You are not being productive, you are being seen being productive, and your employer knows the difference. They just need you there anyway, because an empty desk makes them nervous. Not because the work requires it, because the optics require it. Think about your last 8-hour day. How many of those hours moved something forward? How many were meetings about meetings? Emails acknowledging emails, looking busy while waiting for something to actually need doing. Parkinson's law states that work expands to fill the time available for its
You see that? Parkinson's law. This is something that we talk about all the time. I talk about it all the time with you with Parkinson's law. That's why we have the time blocks of what we work when we talk about 90 minutes. Because Parkinson's law will fill the time allotted with responsibility. The example that I always talk about when I mention this is like, remember when you were a kid and your parents said to clean the bedroom before they get home, or clean the bedroom, or clean something up, right? Then what happens? What happens is that you didn't do it, but then you know that they're coming home in an hour. You know that they're coming home soon. So what happens? You clean everything up in that hour. You actually do your task. You do a great job too. You do a great job in that short amount of time, because that's Parkinson's law. With the time allotted, you only have an hour with the responsibilities of clean your room. The thing that I remember, one of my friends who's married and she's a housewife, what she would always say is the busiest time of her day was an hour before her husband got home, because then that's when she actually cleans up. She actually does her task to make it seem like she was doing stuff all day, because she's not filling the whole day up with washing the clothes. How much clothes can you wash? How many things can you thaw out to cook whatever for dinner? The busiest part of her day was an hour before her husband got home, because then Parkinson's law.
completion. Give someone 8 hours, the work becomes 8 hours. Give someone 4 hours. The same work gets done in 4. You are not unproductive. You are trapped in a system designed around presence, not output. And the most dangerous question you can ask inside that system is, what would happen if I finished everything and went home? Am I wrong?
And they're going to make you feel guilty about that. They're going to make you feel guilty where you finish your job, you finish all your tasks, and you go home. I was always the type of person, anytime I worked in corporate America, I want to know what my task is so I can finish it. And then they make you feel guilty after you finish it because why are you just sitting there? You know, I've had some jobs where I finished a task and then they couldn't even come up with the next task to do. And they're like, well, why are you sitting there? The reason is they need you to be just stuck in that building is because that is the daycare for adults. That's the daycare for adults. So you can sit there and you can't do anything else. Imagine if you could free yourself. Imagine you could get paid for your day for the task, and then you could go home and you could do the responsibilities. So then once I started freeing myself and I started working eBay, I said, how much money could I actually make at eBay if I took the same amount of effort of whatever the 4 hours is there, and I did 4 hours during eBay? How much could I make? I'm already at that point. I know for a fact that I'm making $200 a day by just 4 hours a day. If I'm only focused on 4 hours a day on eBay and I'm working my 90 minutes that I'm doing, my 90-minute gaps, and I'm working 4 hours a day on eBay, I'm making my $200. I'm making my $200. So that's what we're going to head into right now. We're gonna close this off talking about how I was able to make my first $500 by focusing small, on the $200 days. All right. You don't think about it in the big scheme. You think about it in the small scheme. Think about it in quarters. All right. What's the quarters of the $200? The quarters of $200 is the $50. At this point, you know for yourself, if you're in the elite community, you know how to make $50 for yourself every single day in the elite community. I don't need to break this down for you. You know how to make $50 for yourself inside the elite community if you want $50 a day. You know how to get a paycheck at $50 a day in the elite community. All right. You know how to do that. How do we break that down? And so I can multiply it and I can make $200 a day. So that's what we're going to go into right now onto this segment. The $200 a day method is how you hit $5,000 a month. That's how you hit the $5,000 a month. And it's daily systems. It's not about talent. It's not about who has the most polar bear hairs. It's not about all that beautiful stuff. It's about daily systems. It's about when to show up. If I got 4 hours, and maybe if I'm even working a full-time job, I can do 2 hours if I want it bad enough. It just depends. Look, only you and God and your wife maybe knows, or your husband, or your kids. They only know if you're the type of person where when the alarm clock rings before you go to work, are you waking up to work on the eBay thing? Or is it just a hobby for something that it sounds cool for? If it's a hobby, then don't be surprised where you get hobby results. But if you want to hit numbers like this, only you, God, and your wife, or your siblings, or whoever, they know, okay, are you setting an alarm to at least work 2 hours or an hour and a half to 90 minutes before you go to work? And then after you get off of work, are you doing the same thing? Are you dedicating that? No distractions, no nothing. You're just working in those blocks. And then you don't have to list for that day because that's stress. You list for the next day or the day after that. You're always ahead of schedule. It's not about talent. Now, once you do that, you can have the daily auctions. The strategy one is the daily auctions. We start off at 99 cents because the sell psychology, but also because we have a shipping margin in there where we make the money. We make profit margins off of the shipping, but we also make money off of there for each additional painting that they buy, because they're going to want to do additional paintings because there's a combined shipping rule in there. They're going to want to get another one on there. Then when they do, at least you're protecting yourself. You're adding that additional margin on there. You're always going to make profit on there. These are things to always be grateful for. Like, you're never going to be losing money. You're never losing money. You're making money. You're always going to make money. And then for me, if this is what I want, if I want my $5,000 a month, I'm focusing on 6 days a week, no days off. I'm focusing on that, and I'm marking down the calendar. I'm marking down each of the calendar where I'm at for that. And I'm focusing on 10 to 15 canvases for the auction. That's for the auction. But then also I'm focusing on the buy it now store, which is the paper fillers plus the canvases. And those numbers, I would do those numbers the same. Within they would have to be 10 to 15. I'm not just putting all my eggs in one basket for the daily auctions. I'm not putting all my eggs in one basket for the buy it now. I've always said it that both work hand in hand. But if you're new to the system, then you can make $50 a day by just focusing on 3 canvases a day. You can focus on 3 canvases a day and you can make your daily paycheck of $50. You can do that. Just start small. You can do that. Then once you're up here, when you look, we have 15 to 20 canvases. The conversion target. Once your conversion rate is high, eBay doesn't understand the difference between, oh, this person's so talented. This is a polar bear. This is not a polar bear. This is a stick figure. This is a realism. They don't understand any of that. Only thing that they're recording on there is the conversion rate of how many people are buying it off there. I wouldn't be too worried about starting off. I was never worried about, I was giving away gallery pieces for dollars when I first started. But I knew that my conversion rate was climbing. They don't know who I am. I'm earning my placement inside of eBay that nobody can take away from me. This is a multi-billion-dollar corporation that I'm being a partner with, and I'm paying my way through the conversion rate. And I'm getting higher conversion rates by doing this through the auction than resellers who are professional, who are buying electronics, clothing, and things like that, and they're selling those. They have low conversion rate. We have high conversion rate. And that way, through the conversion rate, eBay respects it. And then they're going to give me their black book collectors who actually buy the buy it nows. You saw it through our testimony and through the elite inspiration right there. The combined shipping rule that we have in there is that you get an additional $2 for each canvas. Each canvas we set up in there to have the combined shipping rule that's automatic. That's $2 for each canvas in that order, plus the shipping rule. And that's automatic. In the elite community, you'll automatically learn how to implement that. That's the first lesson, how to implement it so you don't ever have to worry about it. Back in the day, I didn't even have this. I was losing money. And every single time somebody would did a combined order with me, you know how annoying it is? They would always have to send me a message at the end of the night. Hey, Corbellic, I bought more paintings from you. Can you please combine this order for me? Like, it's annoying for them. It's kind of like annoying for people having to go to a gallery and ask how much something is so they can say, oh, it's expensive or it's not. Like, people don't, the thing that makes eBay cool is people don't want to do the friction part of having to go back and forth and talk too much. So that part takes it out right there where you don't even have to deal with it. It does it automatically for them. Payment. The volume equals the feedback. Visibility equals more sales. And here, when they see your fixed pricing, we're talking small paper pieces from $50 to $100 plus. That way, I tell you, don't sell $20 paintings that are canvases. We would do something like a $50 for maybe a small paper piece that's a filler piece. That's passive income by the time it sells. These are fast minimalism drawings. People buy those all the time. These add up. The listings, they work 24/7. It's passive storefront. Also, we do upsells on the frames. So I even do a breakdown inside the community, where to buy the frames from, how to do the upselling, what the price point is. That's profit points right there. And we do upsells on all of them, okay? I know some people out there who are uncomfortable doing the upsells and you're missing money on the table. Do you think Burger King and McDonald's, they're afraid to ask people, do you want a fries and drink with that burger? No, they're not. It costs them nothing for the burger and fries because they're partners with Pepsi or Coca-Cola, so it costs them nothing. But they understand that that's their profit margin right there. That's why they ask for it. That's why I made a video this week. Stop being scared to be a business. You're a business. Stop being scared to be a business. Stop being scared to ask for the upsell. Hey, do you want the frame? Get the frame. That way you're going to be making money. The profit that you're going to be making off of the frame upsell is as the same as like a buy it now painting. And most times people are going to do it. You're going to have the conversion there. your cash flow engine, and then that's your profit engine. So daily auctions plus your buy it now, and then you're consistent 6 days out of the week, starting slow. That's $5,000 a month. That's $2,000, or I mean, that's $200 out of those 6 days. Now, you don't always have to say to yourself, "Oh, I have to make $200 every single day," because the system don't work like that. But what it does is it will even out for you at the end of the week. So maybe there's a day where maybe you only made $75, $100, right? The system, the algorithm is so smart where it will even it out for you either at the end of the week or the end of the month. But they do it every single time. I always tell the story. There was a long time, for some reason, I could not get past making $15,000 a month. No matter what I did, I was always hitting $15,000 a month because the system knew to keep me at that choke hold at that point. It always evened out. Even if I was having bad weeks, bad days, I don't day trade the numbers, but it knew to keep me at that number. And then once you're here, I always say to start slow. Once you start slow and you're making the $50 a day, and then you're hitting your $1,000 mark, then you'll see that it's possible, and then you're hitting the $5,000. Everything goes up from there. Then you'll be 10,000, you'll be 100,000. But there's small steps. If I tell most people, "Hey, I try to make $1,000,000 or 100,000," it just sounds like Mount Everest, right? It sounds like a lot, but that's how things are. That's how things are earned, is through compound interest, small increments. Now, if you also want a copy of this, if you want a copy of this PDF right here, then join the community. Send me a message saying that you want this copy, that you watch this video, and I'll send you a copy as well. If you're in the community, you'll get a free copy of this, no problem at all. But that's what we have there for the breakdown right there. All right. So if you haven't already, leave a like on this video. Let me know that you enjoyed this stream right here, this education, entertainment that we had right here. This is a good show. We always have good shows, right? These are really cool. Let me know if you appreciate this this format that we have, right? Like we do pretty much like a 2.5 hour show, close to 3 hour show, but we give a lot of information on here. You know, I'm dropping gems. I'm always working my butt off for you guys. That's what I love doing. So let me know that you appreciate it. If you like this format, if you got some things out of here, leave me a super chat. Let's see if we have some comments in here. Do we have any chats before we jump off of here? All right. I got to do a shipping right now. I have to ship out a painting and then edit out some videos, put things over to the member side for the videos, and then keep working. So keep at it, keep working, keep pumping them out, keep being consistent. That's what it's all about. I appreciate everybody for joining today's live stream. As always, love you guys, and I'm going to see you later. I'll see you on the next video. All right. So if you haven't already, leave a like on this video. If you're not subscribed, subscribe to this channel. Also, leave all notifications on so you can get the bell. Anytime that I'm releasing new content, you can be informed of the new content that I'm releasing, and you can be up to date. All right. It's going to be really cool. I had fun on this one. I appreciate it.